I'm already so excited, eh? I'm already so excited, bro.
Me too. I got a couple of things for you. It's gonna hurt. The finale's gonna hurt a lot. I was like, fuck, I gotta think of something for Doxie because like I'm coming back for a second time and I want you to have something. You're just gonna I want you to hurt.
Yeah, dope. Yeah. That's so dope. Joel's going to come back at some point during this episode too and tell you what's up because he lives here as well. Yeah. He's just rushing around because he's back at work tomorrow. So he's
nice
haircuts and fucking everything you need to do before you go back to work.
Yeah, good. No, when I messaged you, I was like, make sure if Joel's free, he's here. Yeah. Because I know he'd be bummed if he missed out.
Yeah. I told him last night. He's aware that we're filming. He just had to run out. So he'll come back.
Sweet.
Yeah, he'll come back. But I'm pretty much good to cut it in. If you're good to cut it in,
let's go.
I'm sweet to go.
When you're ready.
Because I want to say thank you for coming back onto the Doxcast studio.
My man.
It's not the same as it once was, but I think no one else can tell. Like it's good. It's good on camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good on camera. But our last episode, it is hands down my favorite episode I've ever filmed. Like,
nice.
I have told everyone this, bro. You read my mind, bro. You don't understand.
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's so crazy. Like I remember if anyone who hasn't seen it, there's a link in the description for the episode that we filmed the first time.
Number 153.
Yeah, 153. My boss at the time, his name was Jim. And you pulled his name straight out of my head. And I sent him the video straight away and he FaceTimed me. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, who is this guy?
Did you tell him I said hi?
Yeah. So who is this guy? Oh my gosh, bro. Like what you do is incredible. We touched a lot on the first time we sat down about what is mentalism, what is that, a bit about how you got into it in the first place. Yeah. So we probably don't need to go into all that again this time.
We can go a little bit into it if you want to, but what do you want to talk about?
Well, I know you've had a busy time since we last sat down. Yeah. Episode 153 was, by the time this comes out, it'll be like 20, maybe 7 episodes ago. Yep. Let me think. About 27 episodes ago. But for our time, it's probably about 24, 25 episodes. Yep. What have you been doing, bro? What have you been doing in that time?
Man, so when I last saw you, I was in the middle of just networking my ass off, like trying to get as many contacts as I can. I've been going to a lot of business meetings, networking meetings. I wanted to get more footage of myself because I'm kind of lacking that. Over the years, all my gigs came from referrals. Yeah. So I never really got footage. I never really had much to go on. And I was like, well, this is the age of social media and I'm just acting like it's still 1995. So I made an event. I put on an event. I was literally just going to, I made a friend who had a massive auditorium that fits like 700 people. Wow. So I was like, okay, if I can fit 80, 100 people in here, I can just do a show and film it. And I just get a proper photographer video. And then I started asking people to like be a part of it. And all these people that I've been networking with, they're just advocates for me, legends of people. And they're like, oh, I can help you with this. I can help you with that. This guy's like, oh, I can help you with the marketing. This one lady's like, I can help you put the event together. And this one's like, I'll give you my venue for free. Wow. And so I had this, it went from me wanting to hire a space and do a free show to me having an event with 6 speakers, myself included, about 80 to 100 people in the audience, free food for everybody and selling tickets. Right. And, well, man, except the for some reason on the night before, the lighting guy, he did such a good job, but for some reason on the day after when he was supposed to do the lighting, he came like, I think he was high or something. I don't know what was, he just didn't seem the same person. Yeah. And the lighting was so bad on the stage. Yeah. It was like if you walked too far this way, you were in blackness. Oh. And on stage, I didn't know because it looked bright. And so I looked at the footage afterwards. Like I spent months putting on this massive event and the footage sucked. I was like, that's it. I'm just going to attend other people's events from now on. It's too much headache, you know? But since then I've done a lot of gigs. I've performed on stage in front of over 2,000 people. Wow. Which was a massive thing. Wow. Yeah. And
where was that at?
It was at the Sydney Convention Centre.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude. It was the biggest stage. They named it the TikTok Convention Center now. Yeah, yeah. Oh, is that the same place? Yeah. I know the building is it's the same building, so they've renamed that part the TikTok Convention Center. Yeah. Nice. So I'm glad that I performed there while it was the International Convention Center because something cheapens it. I don't know. I think like, oh, I was at the TikTok Convention Center. I'm like, I don't know if I'm proud of that, but International Convention Center. So I'm a part of BNI, Business Network International, and we meet once a week for meetings and there's a lot of networking, and there was a global convention there. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it refers a lot to the mentalism of real life and mindset stuff. So when I joined BNI early this year, tickets came out for the global convention, which means 76 countries, BNI members from around the world coming to Sydney. And it's the first and probably the only time it'll be in Sydney in my life. And I was like, it was $1,000 for a ticket plus $250 for the gala dinner. So $1,250 for a ticket for a 4-day conference. And I was like, that's sort of networking, and to expand globally, it was worth $1,200. So I bought the ticket. I'm a brand new member of BNI, and I said to other people, I said, I'm going to be on stage at the global convention. They're like, how are you going to do that? I said, I don't actually know. Right? So then some like applications came out to be speaker at the convention, and I was like, all right, I'll apply for that. They didn't know me, so I didn't get accepted. I was like, all right. So then there was these roundtable things that I could apply for. So I applied for those, and they accepted me as a roundtable speaker. I'm like, that's pretty good, but that's not the stage, you know? And so it was coming up all the way. It was nearly the convention, and I still haven't, all the applications were closed. Like, it's very strict. You have to apply. They have to vet you before you can go on stage. And I still don't have a way or a reason to be on stage yet. So convention starts on Wednesday. On Monday, a friend of mine who's a collaborator, she runs a winery. All right, it's Casa Grain Wine. A little plug for her there.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah, shout out for Casa Grain Wine. Shiana, she's amazing. And Phil Casagrain. So they were doing a wine tasting for the board of directors on the Monday night for the convention, right? And she said, do you want to come and do some performance there, some magic and some mentalism? We have a collaboration called Wine and Illusion, where we get together and it's a combination of wine tasting, fine food, and fine entertainment. And it's like an evening. And so she's like, look, we're doing a wine tasting. We're doing it pro bono because it's the board of directors. If you want to come along, there's no fee, but if you want to be a part of it, I say, absolutely. So Monday I go and I do a performance in front of the room, and then I mingle through the room doing some table stuff. And I get to one table and we started chatting, and they said, oh, sit with us. So I sat with them, eating food, having a good time, having a laugh. And they said, how long have you been doing this? Are you a member of BNI? And I said, yeah. I said, but what I really would love, I really wish I could be on stage this week. It would be so cool to be on that stage. They all looked at each other and they're like, we're the production team, we're the events team. We can get you on stage if you want. I said, what? They said, if you want. I said, I need 5 minutes on stage. And if you give me 5 minutes on stage, I'll create something that everyone in the room will remember for the rest of their life. And they're like, what are you going to do? I said, you're just going to have to say yes. And they said, all right, yes. They said, we've got this like talent show on the third day. If you want to jump on stage there, a couple of the members like signed up to perform something. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of the talent show. What else do you got? I went from not having it to like asking demands. And I was like, what else have you got? They said, well, we could put you on like the first day before the first keynote. I said, I'll take it. 10:30 in the morning, first day of the conference. My name's on my big photos on the screen, QR code. And I got out there, 2,500 people, and I just went and I smashed it. I brought the CEO of the global convention up to the stage. And I was like, did she know you were going to do that? I was like, nah, I just thought about it in the moment. So now it's me and the person that everybody knows on stage. And for the rest of the convention, I didn't have to network. I was just walking around and people were like taking photos with me. It's like, give us your card. I was like, we've got some stuff going on in Sri Lanka. Well, you want to come to Spain? I'm like, yeah, cool. Let's see. Nothing's come of it yet, but my opportunity's opened.
Yeah.
And the thing the reason I share that is because up until 2 days before, I didn't know how I was going to be on the stage, but I never stopped believing I was going to be on the stage. It wasn't a guess. It wasn't random. It was like, I'm going to do it. And I have to remind myself sometimes, I've got to keep that sort of belief in other areas. At the moment I think, I don't know if I can, it's not possible. And the moment I'm like, it's going to happen, I've never seen it not happen. And so it's just a reminder for myself, really, like, how much do I believe it's happening?
Yeah, belief is everything, bro. Like I believe as well, because I'm faith driven as well. So I believe in God, and I'm always researching all different religions. To be honest, I don't really know which one I like the most, but I'm a believer.
They're all cool in their own way.
Yeah, they are. They're all amazing in their own way, and I think that's a perfect description for what I tell on the podcast week after week after week, and that's that you will get whatever you want. It's just how badly do you want it? Do you believe you're going to get it? Or not, because like that self-doubt, that's like everyone's biggest enemy, bro. As soon as you start to believe that something bad might happen, something bad will happen. Like we have all these different words for like manifesting. We've got prayer. We've got ask and you shall receive. We've got all these different, for thousands of years, we've been trying to find different metaphors and ways to explain that. Like, I wish upon a star, bro, is no different than like, I'm going to do this, because I can feel it in my heart. And that's a perfect story, bro, of what I preach every single week, bro.
I was so sure about it that literally 2 days, I was thinking that I'd get to the conference and ask someone on the day to put me on the stage. Like, I was willing to do that because I knew that I couldn't get another chance if it came and went. It was, I'll get on the stage or I don't. And I couldn't accept not.
Yeah.
It was like, I got to do it. The thing was this, when I finally got accepted to be on the stage, I didn't really do anything. I mean, I did. I put myself in the right spot. I said yes to the right people. But those things were around me and I chose to say yes to them. I could have also said no. And when I got to the table of those people, I didn't know who those people were. And I didn't know they had such power in the Congress. Like they were the team putting the whole event together. They are the people to speak to. I could have sat at any table. I just happened to sat at that table.
Yeah.
And I happened to ask the right question to that table. That's the thing. I think I got out of my own way. If I was trying to get it or really like making it, I was sure I was going to get it, but I didn't do it in a way that was selfish or arrogant. I wasn't like, I'll get on that stage no matter what. It was like, I'm going to be on that stage no matter what. It wasn't about convincing or manipulating or influencing anybody. It was trusting that it would happen. I've recently been on stage as doing keynote speaking, right? And I did a talk in front of 700 people for a national conference in Gold Coast, right? Now, my talk was on influence, right? Now they didn't know a couple of things about that. One, I'd never done that talk before. It was 60-minute keynote. I'd never done it. I was finishing the slides in the hotel room the night before, right? That was number one. Number two, when I got booked to do that keynote, I'd never done a keynote before. But I said to them when they asked me, we want you to perform. Can you do anything else? I said, yeah, I can do keynotes as well. And I said that because I trusted that I want to do keynotes in the future. Mm-hmm. And they said, oh, actually, forget the performance. We want to book you for a keynote. I'm like, sweet.
Wow.
Let's have a meeting. So I was sitting in the meeting. He's asking me like, what are you going to talk about? And I'm thinking, what am I going to talk about? Like, I've got to tell this guy something to believe. So I said, I'm going to talk about communication and mentalism. I'm going to use mentalism in the talks to give examples of what I do. And I'm going to talk about, confidence and blah, blah, blah. By the time I got there, it became a talk about influence. And he booked me for more money than I've ever charged for a stage performance ever.
Wow.
And while I was on the stage, I was talking about influence, and I was talking about people trusting your belief more than your product, right? So if I believe this product is going to change your life so deeply, you will purchase that product because of your belief in my belief. It's got nothing to do with the product anymore. You don't know the product. You just got to assume what I'm saying is true. But if I'm so committed to that belief, you believe me. And even if the product wasn't going to work, it's more likely to if you do believe, right? So there's a lot of stuff going around the belief. So I've sold myself as a speaker to this company. They booked me for 11 months away, which was November this year. They booked me from December to November. So I had 11 months to figure out how to speak on a stage, like as a speaker. And I spent the whole year doing training. Since I last saw you, I've done some speaker training. I had a mentorship program that I went through. And when I got on the stage talking about influence, I was talking about belief and trust and certainty in the product. And as a little kind of like an in-joke to myself, on that stage, I was telling him the story of the time when I got booked for my first keynote. And I was like, I didn't even have a keynote and I charged so much money. And everyone's like, whoa. And I'm like, it's this keynote, you dumb shit. But I didn't tell him because I don't know if it's appropriate.
Yeah.
But, that's a couple of things that happen, man. And like, it's really changed the way I see things. Like, I can create stuff and I'm not always super positive. That's the truth. Sometimes I'm quite down. But I'm very certain that when I've got the right mindset, I can create almost anything.
Yeah. But when the stars align for you, they're aligning for you. And it's like, it's good that you have that understanding of like, oh, even when they said, okay, we've got room for the talent show, you can be like, yeah, but that doesn't feel like the right thing. It doesn't feel like it's aligning properly. And the power of, and I say this about myself, I'm so delusional. Like I genuinely believe I'm going to achieve anything and everything that I ever want. Like, and I know that comes across as delusion from other people, but for me, it's not delusion. It's an optimistic feeling of certainty. You know, I know that's not going to come by sitting on my ass. You know, I'm going to get whatever I want because I'm willing to work for it, and I deserve it. And I deserve it because I'm willing to work for it. You know, those two things go hand in hand.
Yep.
But it's like when you were saying that when people buy into the product. Almost all of society today is built around that. I feel like today we're buying into brands because of the people that we know are running them, you know? I feel like people are buying stocks because of Elon Musk today, not because of Tesla and SpaceX. And I think that that's pretty much why most brand owners now have to start making content and start putting themselves online because we're learning to trust the people behind it, you know? And
it's happening more since AI started coming out. People are looking to humans.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right, I need to see that there's a person behind this thing. Because brands before weren't about people. They were literally about logos and products.
Yeah.
And now brands are all about people.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually quite special.
So it was all company slogans, company phrases. And now I think it's just because we've become so much more familiar with the personability of even superstars today. Like look at a superstar from even 15 years ago. It would be an actor you'd see on TV. It might be Robert Downey Jr. You might have characters like this. And you only know them from the roles they play. You don't know nothing about their personal lives. But because of things like podcasting and personal social media accounts, we know the people we look up to and we trust them. And then if you see the people that we look up to, like actors on TV or movies, start to do weird shit in their personal lives and say the wrong messages, we no longer like them as an actor, you know? Like,
be more careful now.
Yeah. It's really cool, bro. And it's a placebo. Everything, it's all a placebo. That's the power of belief. You could take Nurofen that didn't actually have any ibuprofen or is that Nurofen or was that Panadol?
Panadol,
paracetamol, right? Whatever, right? You could take these painkillers that are duds, complete replicas of the look-alike that do nothing for your body. But if you believe it's going to kill your headache, it will 100% believe your headache.
Placebo is a thing. Placebo is a thing. I mean, I studied hypnosis for years, right? And I mean, this is a bit, I don't know if I should, I'll talk about it, you know, it doesn't really. So I was testing on my friend. We were playing with hypnosis and seeing how far I could stretch it. And I was like, what if I could hypnotize my friend to think and feel like he had a line of drugs, right? Yeah. And I was like, So I put him into hypnosis and I started to like talk him into it. And I gave him a straw and I said, put that in your nose. And I pretended to put something in front of him. And I was like, just breathe it in through your nose. And he breathed it in through his nose. And he just started being all this really wired. And I was like, no way. Like, that's so his brain. Cool. It tricked him. Yeah. But that's the placebo, right? The placebo is in hypnosis, your brain is acting in a way that is almost like a dream, right? Because in dreams, things are real. So what's happening there? Your conscious mind is gone. Your unconscious mind is awake. And your unconscious mind is infinitely creative. So if you can tell it to create something, it will attach it to real. It doesn't know the difference between real and fake. So I just set it up in a way that his unconscious mind was taking care of the process. He really believed and thought that this imaginary drug was going to do something to him. And for the rest of the night, he was just like wired. I was like, that is phenomenal. And way cheaper.
That might be like a way to get people off the drugs.
It might be. Yeah, I think hypnosis can be used for a lot of things. But because it's not like physical, I don't think big corporations can make the same money off it. There's a lot of reasons why hypnosis is pushed to the side, but I've seen miracles with hypnosis.
That's so cool, bro. Hypnosis is something that I've never done, but I'm always curious to go try it. Would you recommend it? It's a fun experience for everyone to go be a part of because I've never done it. There's also fear, like, fuck, what's going to happen to me while I'm hypnotized?
Yeah, that's normal. Do you mean like as a hypnosis show?
No, so like to be hypnotized, like to know what that feels like. Like,
yeah,
I guess it's pretty normal to be scared about it.
So, okay, I'll put it this way. Do you drive?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been driving and then at some point driving, you kind of just like shake your head and realize you haven't been paying attention for a while?
99.9% of the time.
Right? Yeah. That previous moment before you woke up was a hypnotic trance. Hypnosis is where your conscious mind is distracted and your unconscious mind is taking over.
Okay.
When someone is doing art, making music, reading, you call it being in the flow, that's a trance, right? It's the same thing. So hypnosis is no different to that. The difference only being that one of them is delivered by someone else speaking to you. The other one's just happening internally from what your actions are. So a hypnotist will make certain comments and he'll distract your conscious mind for you, with you. And in that distraction, your unconscious mind will open up and you'll be in that flow state. Now, because you're in that flow state, you're very creative, everything's hyper realistic. I could essentially in that moment tell you that the can of V tastes like butter. And although it doesn't, your unconscious mind will create the result of it tasting like butter. You'll be like, no way, that tastes like butter. And you'll be so I had this one time, I hypnotized this lady at a private event. And I used to hypnotize people. I hypnotized this one guy. I jumped a little bit. I'm going to do two stories. I hypnotized this one guy to believe that an onion was an apple.
Oh,
right? I'm like,
crazy.
You're going to wake up. You're going to be so hungry. And when I give you this, I'm going to give you an apple and it's going to be the most delicious thing. And you're just going to just hoe into it. So I woke him up.
That's crazy.
I gave him an onion and he started eating it. I was like, how is it? He's like, it's so good. And he's just crunching it. And everyone in the room's like, you know, like you could smell it.
Yeah.
And at some point, I think like, I don't know, squirted into his eye or something. So he had like a reaction. I mean, it's an onion.
Yeah.
So he like dropped the onion, ran out of the room and went to the bathroom. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I'd only just tried it for the first time. I saw it on TV. So he came back into the room and everyone's like, whoa, like, I hope everything's okay. And nobody understood hypnosis. I was the one who understood it the most. And I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, is everything okay? Like, have a seat. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. I was like, are you still hypnotized? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, what happened? He's like, oh, I think I got something in my eye. I'm like, oh, okay. You still hungry? He said, yeah. I said, you want the apple? He's like, yeah. He took the onion and finished it. So like, I don't know. I just don't understand it. But well, it was so strong. But he stank for the rest of the night and I felt pretty bad about that. So another time I decided, instead I gave strawberry to this lady and I said, you're going to eat this. You're going to want this strawberry. You're going to like beg me for it and you'll get angry if I don't give it to you. So I created this tension. And then I finally gave it to her. I said, it's the most delicious strawberry, but you won't be able to eat it. So she'd be like, and her hand's moving away. And I was like, look, eventually when I snap my fingers, you'll be able to eat it. It'll be so delicious. So she ate it and she's like orgasming eating this fucking strawberry. I said, when I snap my fingers, it'll taste disgusting, like an onion. So I reversed the trick. And I snapped my fingers and she's like, oh, her face just went gross and she spat it on the floor. And I was like, take another bite. And she's like, oh, and she spat it on the floor. And I was like, when I snap my fingers, like, because it's the most delicious strawberry you ever had, I was like, you're going to feel bad about what you did. I snapped my fingers and she looked at the floor. She's like, almost crying. I was like, what's wrong? She's like, I'm wasting it. I was like, what are you going to do? She picks it up off the floor and starts eating it. And I'm like, it's an onion again. And then she just spat it all over the audience.
I was like, so crazy.
Man, what else is possible? What else is possible?
That is so crazy, bro. It's opening my mind so much as well to like, the fact that we're in these trances, like we're probably in these trances that people have put us in all the time, you know, like that's what marketing is, bro. Yep. Marketing is like, you want these cigarettes, you want this pink V, you want this new watch, this new car, this new thing, bro. And like, I must be in fucking hypnosis all the time, bro.
Yeah, actually that's true. We are. The thing about hypnosis is this, I don't suggest people learn hypnosis to know how to do it. I suggest people learn hypnosis to know how to avoid it. Right? Because we are in trance all the time. It's very natural. In fact, trance is a very natural state. This is why people get freaked out about hypnosis. Like, oh, I don't want to be, you know, doing something against my will. I'm like, then turn your TV off.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do something against your will, stop watching the news, for example. Like there are things that are hypnotizing you without your knowledge and you just let it. But someone with good intentions says, oh, would you like to be hypnotized? I say, no, I don't want you to control my mind. I'm like, what? Like I'm the only thing around you that's admitting it. Right? Everything else is controlling your mind, so like without your permission.
Well, think about like we've all got our own political agendas now. We've all got our own ideas and things that are just being cultivated from the algorithms that we are all being a part of. You know, we are all being shaped hypnotherapy wise. You know what I mean? Like we're being pulled into these ways of thinking that we aren't really in control of anymore. And I think it's incredible, bro. I think the fact that you're able to put it down into one little show is a good representation of being like, this is what's happening anyway, you know?
Yep.
You just might not be aware of it.
Yep.
I want to say like, one was the power of belief and how real powerful that is to believe that you're going to be on stage no matter what. Like, and then the fact that you're able to get there, the same thing people are also doing. Like people might get into their head that like, oh, I believe that my partner is cheating on me, for example. And then maybe we spoke about this for our episode. I'm pretty sure you might have. And then that kind of puts people into a position of not trusting their partner anymore and pushing them in the wrong direction. And before they know it, their partner doesn't feel love from them anymore. And then they go and get with someone else.
They're causing it.
They're causing it. And the power of belief can take you in any direction. And it does take practice to be able to believe that I'm going to be able to get on stage, you know, like the way you did. But that would have come from many different little tiny wins along the way of believing that I'm going to get through a successful podcast. I'm going to be able to perform this successful show. I'm going to be able to clean my room when I get home, bro. You know, take the trash out, and like believing little things, proving to yourself you can almost set yourself a goal eventually one day of, I want to be on ICC, bro. I want to be on stage over there.
Yeah,
you know?
actually, I'd like to be on ICC for my own show, actually, and actually have an audience for more than, it was about 5 or 6 minutes I was up there. I didn't need more. Like, I wasn't trying to be greedy. And I think that's really important as well. I didn't try to overstep my welcome. I asked them for 5 minutes, and I was honest about that. I was like, I just need 5 minutes. What I'm very sure of at this point in my life is, if you give me 5 minutes of your time as an audience, I will deliver something you'll remember forever. I've got no doubt about that. That's another belief. It's 100% certain. The reason I did that so well, I was invited as a guest to an event, right? It was the Business Excellence Awards. And a friend of mine rang me up. I was coming from the Hunter Valley. I was doing a show at the Wine Awards or something. And I'm on my way home, and my friend rings me up and he said, I've got a ticket to this Business Excellence Award. It's like a gala dinner, and my mate can't make it. Do you want to join our table? I said, absolutely. I was already dressed. You know, I had a nice
that's cool.
shirt on and everything. So I showed up there, and I got to that room, and I'm just looking around. Brilliant room, amazing stage, no entertainment, like not anything worth talking about. And I was like, man, I need to be on that stage. Right? So I said to my mate, I said, do you know the organizer of this event? He's like, yeah. I was like, get me on the stage. And he's like, what? I said, just tell him I need 5 minutes on the stage. And so he went to the organizer, and she's like, what are you going to do? I said, look, she said, can you do it in 2 minutes? I said, if you give me 5 minutes, again, if you give me 5 minutes, I'll give them something they'll remember for the rest of their life. So what I do, they said yes. They got me on the stage. I wrote an introduction. I messaged it to the MC. I said, read that out loud. So I got on the stage. I invited the most important person in the room. I always do that. That's like a little thing of mine. My friends think that's a bit ballsy, and I'm just like, actually, it's more ballsy to choose a nobody than to choose someone who everyone knows, because now they're not just respecting me on the stage. If they make mistake, or if they shit audience, they're disrespecting that person. So like, it's actually the smartest thing I can do.
Absolutely.
I went to the organizer. I said, who's the most important person in the room tonight? It's like, oh, it's this honorary someone or other. And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. What's her name? Excellent. I'm bringing her up on the stage.
yeah, mad. That's so mad. I like the way you did that as well, compared to the first story you explained about going to the ICC, right? Sitting down at that table of people that just happened to be the production team. That made me think of why you actually deserved the spot. Another reason, right? Another reason. Obviously your hard work, your effort, your belief, but it was the humility, bro. It was like, I'm going to be kind to everyone. And like you said, it wasn't an arrogant thing of how am I going to get on stage. It was, I believe I'm going to be on stage. And then it wasn't narrowing down the most important people and I'm not going to waste time speaking to these people. I have to find the CEO. I have to find this person, find that person. It was everyone. Treat everyone the same.
It was give first.
Yeah.
The attitude was give first. Look, BNI has a set of principles that it likes to live by, so that it keeps all the people that are part of the organization caring for each other. And principle number 1 is givers gain.
And can you explain BNI
so BNI is...
It was Center for Business...
Network International.
Network International,
So it was started many years ago. And the man who started it wanted to create a network, a group of networks, right? And then he just started realizing that if he put some values in place, people would work together better. So he put some values in place like lifelong learning, givers gain, accountability, things like that. And it grew. It grew from one, they called it a chapter. They called one chapter, 2 chapters, and it started growing all over the States, and then it went international. So he called it BNI, Business Network. Now there's 300,000 members across the world, and they're all linked. We're linked by an app. So if I know someone in Japan, I can say, look, I'm from BNI Sydney, and BNI Momentum is in my chapter. BNI Momentum Sydney, I'm coming to Japan. When's your next meeting? I want to come meet some people. And because we're all part of it, we want to work together, right? Wow. Kind of like the Masons.
Yeah, but absolutely.
A little bit more accessible.
Yeah.
Right? And so giver's gain is their first, the number one concept. It's give before you receive, not in order to receive. That's very different. Giving in order to receive is still selfish.
That's trade, yeah.
Yeah, that's a trade. Yeah. So, look, it's a bit difficult. This year, I've had a lot of successes, and I've got to remind myself of those. But there's been a lot of times this year where I was so uncertain that I was going to get anything. Like, I put in a lot of work, and I was giving a lot, and I was thinking, man, like, I just want to receive already. Like, it was tough at some point. I was like, I've only been back in the country just over a year. I've got to give myself credit, that it's only a short time, but like, really, I've got all this talent and skill that I want to share, but it's just like finding the people that are going to move me to that next step. So I do want to receive something. So it's hard to balance giving without wanting, but you can't not want something. You just have to make sure that your giving is genuine.
Yeah, authentic.
Authentic. Yeah. If I give to you, I don't do it so I receive from you. I do it to create the atmosphere of giving around me, because what I give, I receive. So if I want something, let's say, I don't know, I want to create my own podcast. Well, I'll do whatever I can to help other people set up their podcasts, because eventually I want to help with podcasts, so I'll give the thing that I want to get back. It's really hard to do sometimes, because sometimes, this year for me, I felt like, am I a martyr just giving away this service and getting nothing for myself? But I've got to look closely and say, well, I did get a lot. I got a lot out of it. And if you're really genuinely giving, you receive from the giving. Like, that's the part. Like, it feels good to do it. If you feel bad while you're giving, it's not genuine.
I speak about that on the podcast a lot. It's like a secret to the universe, bro. It's a secret part of life in which they say in NA you can only keep what you've got by giving it away. It means that I keep coming back to meetings and talking about my story of why I've been able and how I've been able to stay sober for so long. And that inspires the next generation of people that are coming for the first time to see optimism and hope to look towards, okay, it's possible. But I'm also receiving the medicine that I need too, because there's people coming in for the first time that are explaining how fucked their lives are, and then it's a reminder as to why I started this in the first place and how far I've came. Being a tradesman, you can only keep what you've got by giving it away as well. If you want to remain being a good tradesman, you have to teach the next generation of people, young people, everything you've learned. Give them all your information, all your knowledge, everything, every mistake, every rectification, everything about it. And that makes you a better tradesman. So you continue to go on as you go on. And religions have explained this for generations as well. You've got, in the Bible, it says you must give 10% to the church. That's just like a metaphor for the same principle of, you have to be able to give in order to receive. And they say in the Quran, like, whatever you give, you get back 1,000x. And it's interesting because you can't do it for it. You can't do it for it, but it's like, it just happens to be a magical thing that it will always come back tenfold.
The most wealthy people I know and the most successful people I know give to charity. Yeah. They give stuff or they give their service somehow. They always say, now I've made this sort of money, I want to give back. They genuinely want to. They call it tithing. Right? It's like, I give part of what I earn to keep the flow. I'm not sure exactly how I would do that, especially when it's hard to know how to do that if you want to give in the form of money, you have to have it, right? Yeah. And the saying is, if you give it, you'll get it back. So it's like, well, how do you give when you don't have something? Well, that's usually the time to give it, but it doesn't necessarily mean the form of money, right? So if instead of giving away money, which isn't easy to do, especially if you need it, help someone earn some, like help someone make some. I do coaching once a week. I think I might've mentioned it in the last call, and it's not my business, right? But I wanted to do coaching to help men gain confidence. And I ended up getting a phone call from a guy in the States. He asked me to be one of his coaches. And I'm like, well, you know what? I don't have to create this business for myself. He's already got a business that does what I think is very important. So I'll assist him. So I'm actually helping men get confidence without having to go through the process of creating the whole business myself. So it's pocket money for me. It's not a lot of money. But he rang me up the other day. He said, look, there's a bro in Australia who wants to join the program, and he just wants to speak to someone local and ask a few questions. Could you have a call with him? I was like, yeah, sweet. So, I mean, that doesn't help me. The program's $5,000 or something. But I jumped on the phone call and I had a chat with the Aussie bro, and now he joined the program and he's a new member. And it was like a 15-minute conversation. And the bro in the States called me up and he said, hey man, the guy signed up. I just sent you $300.
Yeah.
I was helping him in his business to get money, and it gave me money I didn't even expect. And it's $300.
Yeah.
15 minutes.
And you would have done that 15 minutes. That's the
I
awesome
didn't
part.
ask for the money.
Yeah.
I didn't actually do it for the money.
Yeah.
I did it to help the bro get in the program because it'll help the owner, but more so that bro's going to have his life changed by being in the program, and I wanted that for him. And I know what the program does because I'm one of the coaches.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you can receive what you want, and you don't have to give that exact thing, but you have to just give.
Well, giving is everything as well, like I think giving is, if I'm going to the servo and I'm buying myself a drink, I might just say to the person in the passenger seat, would you like a drink as well? Giving is also like, giving's also a lot of responsibility. Giving's also like taking my dog for a walk at least once a day. Giving's also like being generous and giving people your time, like showing up for people when they need you. All these things, as long as you're not being selfish in your act, like, okay, I'll show up for you if you show up for me later, then you've actually got yourself a good friend, because you're there for them and they will be there for you. And we don't realize that that's all our system is built on. We give away 38 hours a week before we get paid for it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We always do it. And it's an amazing, cool part of life, bro. I heard this study once about these 3 different types of individuals that were studied across all different fields. You'd have, I think there was athletes, musicians, business owners, social co-workers, things like this. And they said they followed the person that had a selfish interest first. No matter what, I'm going to climb my way to the top and I'm going to push down everyone on the way there and I'm going to get there. There was a second type of person who was, I'm going to fairly trade and make myself a good network of people that we can assist each other to get to the top.
Yep.
And then the third person was the person that genuinely just thought, I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm trying to help people around me. The person who clawed his way to the top always got there the fastest in every single field, in every single way. The person that made fair, healthy trades eventually got there as well, but they also had a solid community around them that they got to enjoy their time with. And the last person who just did things out of the kindness of their own heart always exceeded the other 2 people in every single field, in every single way. They went to further places with more people around them and they lived happier, holistic lives because they spent their lives being generous, know? And
that reminds me of a book. What was it called? It was the Giving Advantage or something like that. It was exactly what you're talking about. They did studies on it, and they said the people that did things for themselves got to the top faster, but what they ended up would be lonely. They ended up without support. They ended up having people leave them at the most inopportune moments because they were trying to get first. And the people that gave, they got their grades slower. They might not have got the highest grades, but moving forward into society, they had networks, they had supporting teams around them. And I was like, that is so important.
Yeah. It's cool, eh? There's another mad book. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Have you read that one?
Yeah, man.
Mad book, eh? Like, I was actually blown away. I remember when I bought it, I told my pop that afternoon, I went to the bookstore today and bought some books. And he goes, oh, did you buy How to Win Friends and Influence People? I'm like, how do you possibly know that book?
Mentalist.
It's been around
Get him on the podcast.
He goes, it's been around since I was a kid. I was like, oh, what the heck?
Dale
Must be a pretty old book then,
Yeah.
But yeah,
I read it. It was one of the first personal development books I read.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember from it is the one thing that stood out for me was the sweetest sound to any person is the sound of their own name.
Yeah.
Right? That was like a big one for me. I don't remember much of the book. I'll probably reread it, but nothing I've read has gone. It's all there somewhere, but certain things stick out to books. Very, very important to remember people's names because that's a gift you give them. You give them the sound of their own name. That's special. Like I had this period when I was living in New Zealand. So I went to have we had this conversation? I don't know if we have. I went to a gig when I was young. I used to work at a restaurant and I went to a table of 4 people and I introduced myself to each person. I got to the first person and I'd already forgotten their name.
Yeah.
And the person looked at me like I was a dick,
yeah.
which I was, So I spent the next few years like working on remembering names, and I would carry a little baby name book in my pocket. And every time I meet someone, I look, oh, what does that name mean? And I'll just try and make a conversation around it. I became really good at it. And there was this one time I met this girl. I was very popular in that town in New Zealand because I'd been there a little while, doing a lot of gigs. And I met this one girl one night and then I didn't see her again. And then 2 weeks later, I saw her again in the bar. And she knew me because a lot of people knew me, right? I was on stage a lot. I was doing open mic stuff and she saw the crowd I had around me. And she came over to our group and I called out to her by name and she was like completely gobsmacked. It's like, how does this important, I didn't give myself that title, you know, how does someone like you remember my name? And I was like, I didn't see myself as anybody, but I could see how impressionable that was. Like, wow, like just remembering a person's name, you don't know that person and what they feel about that. What if they feel like no one remembers them and you just remember their name one day and that changes their life?
Yeah. Well, I guess that would be like the worst feeling you could possibly have. Hey, have no one know who you are.
Yeah.
So the polar opposite would be to have someone know who you are, you know, like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially after meeting like once.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny, because and this just entered my mind again as you were telling the story about an event. There was a time, and I'm just going to tell this story. It's not related to it exactly, but I need to get it off my mind so I can get out of there. You obviously blow my mind with the mentalism and the fact that you're able to do all these things. And then there was a stage on the internet when the internet was constantly giving me, say I was talking to this, I think what happened was I had this one lad come on the podcast and I was speaking to him for our episode about another guest that I'm going to be doing a podcast with, explain the guest a little bit. And then he's like, oh, what's her name? And I said, oh, her name's Veronica. I was talking to her the other day. He's like, that's my girlfriend. I was like, well, what the fuck? Like, it was complete coincidence, right? Yeah. And then not long after that, I sent her a message and then I sent you a message. And then I went on my news feed.
Oh, was it Veronica that I was on?
It was a video of you and Veronica together. And I just done it. And I said to myself, like, how the fuck is it that the guy who fucks with people's brains has just been able to do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Bro, it was so crazy.
She's great. She's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got a lot of followers and she's really like authentically humorous. You know, she's just a bit silly, but she's really approachable. She's got a good brand.
Yeah.
Veronica B.
Yeah, Veronica B, that's it. Yeah. No, bro, honestly, it was the trippiest thing to go through your messages, speak to two people that I don't think know each other.
Right.
About two completely different things and then go onto my feed and see them two collaborate on
that
things
is
together.
so interesting.
That is crazy.
So when stuff like that happens, like I've gone through a period of my life when I truly believed in magic. Then I grew up, my mum bought me a magic book and I was like, what do you mean it's a trick? And I didn't believe in magic. And then I started practicing and I started creating magic for people and I saw their reactions. I'm like, that is magic. The magic is created in the mind, right? So then I started believing in it again. Then I went through a spiritual journey, went to India, started believing in magic very spiritually, esoterically, seeing things happen like really magically around me. But then I came back from India, I started grounding myself and I started like pulling back again. So
doing the rat race again.
Doing this, right?
Yeah.
But I've met people recently talking about energetic stuff and talking about this sort of stuff. And I was like, man, I can't deny certain things. Things like what you just described. You had a conversation with this person and then go on your feed and you see a video of them collaborating. That's not an algorithm.
Oh, man.
That's like, that can't have happened any other way.
Nah, and that is magic, and I believe in it. Like, there's another guy who's going to come on shortly enough. We've been talking, I think the first time I messaged him would have been a year and a half ago. Like, I had to get this episode going, and he's busy. Like, it's just like, hasn't aligned yet. But there was a time when he was going to come on the Saturday or something, and then something came through. I had another guest coming over anyway on the following day. And then I filmed the episode, and then that afternoon, he put out a collaborative reel on Instagram with that guy. The guy originally was from Newcastle, and then the other guy was from Queensland.
Yeah.
And then they just happened to put out the video together on the same day. The following week, he was going to come over. He didn't. So another guy came over the next day. He was from Cronulla. That afternoon, they collaborated on an Instagram reel together.
What?
The third week in a row, it happened again with another guest. It happened 3 weeks in a row where this guy couldn't come
magical,
on.
Dude.
And then bro, it was crazy.
That's wild. 3 times is like
3 times.
This is like no longer coincidental.
Nah. And that's why magic is real, bro. Like that's why magic is 100% real. The fact that you can give and then things come back towards you, you can believe in the things that and almost foresee your future and create the reality you want to live in. Like, these things are magic, and it happens to me all the time with content. Like, especially I find people that are interested in different fields in different ways. One guy might be a kickbox champion. One guy might be writing music and creating beats for people. And it's like, these people know each other and these people know each other. And I feel like, to me, the magic is if you have passion in your heart and you follow that passion and you try to excel in as much ways as possible, those people are entering some kind of energetic network that we aren't aware of, and passion wants to find passion, creativity wants to find creativity, and
like attracts like.
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's not enough words to be able to describe it, bro.
The idea of magic is, I have a feeling, an opinion rather, that we've been taught that magic isn't real to keep us from it. Like when we read storybooks and we're like, oh, this fictional story of this magical creature, we're given it in a way that makes us think it's silly and childish, and it feels like it's put right in front of us that we have the opportunity to take it, but it's been labeled in such a way that we ignore it. Because the people that do really incredible things all have a belief in magic of some sort. They either call it God, the universe, whatever they call it, it's magical.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure what the limit is of that. I'm very aware, however, that the structure of the society around us is not designed to keep us magical. When I was in India, you know, I didn't have a phone. The first time I went for 7 months, and I didn't have a phone.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I went with a school bag, small school bag, a couple of pairs of underwear, a couple of books, and a journal, and that was it. I had nothing, and I felt super free.
That's crazy.
And I can't even imagine traveling without a phone now. Right? I don't even know how possible that is.
Well,
and so when I was there, I was talking to this dude I was traveling with, this Israeli guy named Ori, and I was saying to him, man, all this crazy magical stuff's happening to me. And now he's very straight-minded and very logical dude, so he didn't really understand what I meant. And I was like, it's hard to explain, but like when I want something, it just happens. And he's like, give me an example. I'm like, I can't even give you an example. And so he's like, well, when you have an example, tell me. I'm like, all right, fair enough. I was like, dude, I said to him, do you have any spare pants? Like, we went whitewater rafting that day, and I only had one pair of pants because I was traveling light, and they were wet. I was like, do you have a spare pair of pants? He's like, nah, sorry, bro. I've only got the shorts that I'm wearing. And as soon as those words came out of my mouth, there was a knock on the door. And I opened the door, and one of the bros that I met whitewater rafting, he's like, Xavier. I was like, yeah. He's like, do you need a pair of pants? I've got a spare and they're too small for me. And I was like, I just grabbed them and I looked at Ori, and Ori's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And that was the fastest it's ever happened. Now, even I have that experience in my life, I still forget magic exists. And I'm very aware of it. Like getting on the stage in front of 2,500 people, like 2 days before the event, with certainty, somehow, I don't know what it is, what blockage is in humans to stop us living permanently in magic. I want to figure it out, because I think that my life could be a lot better and it could be a lot more beneficial to others if I can stay magical. And I keep trying to remind myself to get back into it. Like,
yeah.
It's easy to forget.
I think it's because like we find more proof in what we already believe. And when everything around us is structural, mathematical, analytical, algorithmic, that's what we're going to continue to believe. Like, as you said, like the world around us is designed for clear-cut science, what you can and can't explain.
Yeah.
If you can't explain it, you throw it out the window. But the magic is even... I've seen this play 2 nights ago, I think. It's called The Book of Mormon. I've been wanting to see it for years. Like, it's meant to be this great comedy, and I love anything theatrical, like whether it be actual plays or musicals like this one was, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter if it's a musician, it doesn't matter if it's a magician, whatever it is, anything theatrical. But The Book of Mormon, if anyone hasn't seen it, I recommend it to you. It's phenomenal. Cool. Very funny, very offensive for anyone who is a believer like me, but I understand sometimes you've got to be the butt of the joke as well.
Absolutely.
You have to be the butt. Yeah. And that talked about magic in that sense as well. But yeah, it was taking the piss out of a lot of religious, especially if you're a Mormon, you might not enjoy that one in particular, but it would take the piss out of it. But then it would explain why the magic in believing it actually is beneficial for people. And their explanation, I won't spoil it, like realistically why, but I interpreted it as, it might be a made up story or it might not, but the magic is why it's working for certain people as well, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. Very, very cool. So since the last time we spoke, obviously this ICC one would have been the best thing you've done. And
it was great.
How did you orchestrate those 5 minutes? Like, did you plan what you wanted to do for enough? Even though you had 2 days of knowing, did you have a bit more time of preparing?
I knew already what I was going to do before I just knew. Yeah. The same thing I did in that 5 minutes in that business awards night was the same thing I did, except I customized it for BNI.
Yeah.
And I knew that So what I did was an effect that involved the entire audience all at once. So I got everyone to pull out their phones and follow along. So unfortunately, there's no footage of me because everyone was on their phones. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should have just said half the audience, next time. But like, there's a couple of photos and a small video of me from some friend of mine who walked in a bit late. But whatever, like the memory's there. There is a weird belief that I've got that I don't get good footage of myself because I've had experience of not getting it, which is why I've gone out of my way to make sure I get footage now.
And that, to be honest, as we've been saying, that's why you haven't got good footage of yourself, because you have a belief in it.
Well, there's tons of evidence. Even I put on an event to get good footage and the lighting was off and the footage is unusable. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Like all of this planning, the whole event was only for me to get footage. And that's the only thing that didn't come out of the event. I was like, whatever. It's actually just laughable. It forced me to get my own like filming equipment and just trust my own self instead. And I'm sure with time it'll pass. Like I've also got some really good footages, like unexpectedly, I
get it though. Sorry to cut you off, but I get it, like about the fact that you lose the footage on it. Like, but I'm starting to realize, because I've been filming myself pretty much for 12 months straight all the time, and I'm going to start doing it next year even more. Like I've got a videographer now. It's going to come on the weekends. I'm going to have another guy who's going to come through the week as well. And yeah, I've been recording myself doing podcasting, but I've really found there is so much more living when you're not recording those moments, when you haven't got the actual footage to look back on it.
Yep.
Like I share those moments with my partner all the time. Like the things with my parents, I share that with some close friends. Like the things that I'm not recording are actually the most amazing parts about being alive, bro.
Mate, I agree with that so deeply. One of the reasons I haven't bothered with recording is because I'm experiencing it and it's up here. The only thing that recording's for is actually for everyone else. But for me, I don't miss anything. My memory of that event is clear. Like I was there. I was on stage. I was looking out at the biggest crowd I've ever looked. I had an aim to get on stage in front of 3,000 people this year. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. And now that I did it and it felt so natural, I was like, 3,000 is not big enough. Like what size audience could I get in front of and how am I going to do that? So,
well, ICC is 8,000. So get back there.
Get to do it full. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Let's do it next time. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've missed a lot of opportunities to get good footage, but the memory's not gone. As far as having it accessible on social media, I don't get that. But I didn't not have the experience. Like I said, I've got a couple of mobile phone photos of me on the stage and some short videos of someone who just happened to scan the room. So it's like there's evidence. It's nothing usable really. But I stopped feeling so bad about it. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's really okay. And if I stay worried about it, it's almost like saying, well, it's never going to happen again. Yeah. Like I should be so okay with it because it's going to happen over and over. And eventually I'll get the right footage and all that stuff, at some point I'll have the status that getting footage is like the last of my worries.
Yeah.
I'll be able to pay someone to just go to every event with me and make sure of it.
And that's the goal, How good would that be? Have a constant. I always think how I'm able to be able to live in a world where there's someone recording me all the time, bro. I actually want that.
Truman Show.
I actually want that. I actually want someone filming me before I brush my teeth, bro. Turn that into a video.
Dude, these Meta glasses are going to change your world. I mean, you've got a pair already.
Yeah.
But these ones are great. 3 minutes recording time at max. And I don't know. I didn't see it. I spent this last little while kind of struggling with what do I do with social media? I don't want to film magic tricks, but I still love performing magic tricks. I can't just film mentalism because it's not really it's process-based performance. So it's kind of like weird to get on camera. And I've been, going over in my head, what is my brand? What is my brand? So it turns out it actually is magic. It's magic and mentalism and education, right? It's like all the things.
Bro, you blew my mind in our episode, 100%. But the magic tricks we were doing, the card tricks you were doing for me after the episode is the memorable part. Like that, it was obviously mind blowing. Like I'm never going to forget the things that you pulled out of my head, like the 3 tricks you did. But the card tricks was like a fun experience that never ended, bro. And when that ended, I was like, no, you know what I mean? Like
I can't deny it.
Yeah.
Like I've been trying, so these last couple of years, I've been trying to get away from the word magician because I get lumped in with other entertainers that I am not like them.
Yeah.
And no offense to them in any way. They do what they do because they love what they do. But I want to avoid that because firstly, my fee doesn't look like that and my act doesn't look like that. And so if someone thinks of me like that, and then I charge them this fee, they're going to say no because I can get someone else for $500. I'm like, yes, you can. And that's exactly what you're going to get for $500. So I realize it's not about changing the name. It's about changing the awareness of the name or changing the idea behind what they believe about the name. I can talk about magic like this is what you get as a magician. And this is what you get with all of this experience behind me that adds to the act. So in 2026, like I've been saying no to a lot of gigs because the budget was too low. And I found that I tell them my budget and then they say no to me on the phone. And I started getting really bothered by that because I left a lot of money on the table, but I also didn't want to cheapen myself. I was like, man, like someone who was okay with less fee would have snapped up all the gigs I said no to, but I didn't even say no to them. They said no to me because I was too expensive. And I was like, what am I going to do about that? So I've actually made friends with 2 younger magician dudes. Great guys, really good at what they do, less experienced than me, but fantastic. So I've actually been sending them to gigs that I can't do and just taking a finder's fee, right? And they were really okay with it. They even suggested it. So next year, my plan is to continue with that, but actually act a little bit more like an agent. So if someone rings me up, I'm like, this is my fee. This is why it's my fee. And it's based on all of this experience, and this is what you're going to get for it. You're going to get authority positioning. You're going to get something that's never been seen before, X, Y, Z. This is my fee. Oh, do you do a discount? I don't do discounts. However, I do have a select group of people that I work with that work at a different price point. Now, I'll just push this instead. So I don't have to say no to gigs anymore. In fact, they don't say no to my price. I say no to their budget.
Yeah.
And I just want to position myself as a celebrity because a celebrity doesn't change their fee. They just don't get booked.
Yeah.
And they're okay with it. All right. And so that's where I want to be because I want to deliver a value that goes beyond what they expect. And it's not just my actual tricks. It's everything I bring to the table. Like I don't go to an event for an hour. I go for an hour and then I network and I hang out and people are just like, they love me there because I really love them back, and I give a lot more value than I offer. And you can't fake that and you can't really teach that. You got to experience that over time.
Yeah. And you got to be that, you know what I mean? You can't just become a likable, liking, communicative, person. You either are that person or you aren't, you know? You can't just play the role of someone who's social and all that.
My life gave me I've been thinking about this a lot lately because I want to actually get this down into book form at some point, and Rose is going to help me do that. She's an author.
Shout out Rose. Shout out Rose. Yeah.
Rose is awesome. She's Rose Meyer. She does she teaches story psychology, how to get people to change lives using words. And so we've been talking about my story, and I've been thinking a lot about my life and why I've become the person I've become. And a lot of it comes down to being misunderstood as a kid and deciding as a kid, I don't like people not knowing what I mean. I don't like, as a kid, crying because I can't express myself and then getting in trouble either because I couldn't express myself or in trouble because I was crying. Yeah. And I was like, I'm just constantly in the shit for not being able to communicate. So I think the decision for me to become a communicator started way before I even knew what that was. And this is why I think you can't regret your life story. I think your life story was designed for you.
Yeah, 100%. There's no question about that. Everything that I've gone through has led up to me being here. And I feel like I'm meant to be here, you know? But I wouldn't be here without making all the dumb decisions I've made, the bad influences I chose to hang around, and the good things that I chose to take. And I took what I want and I left the rest. But sometimes I took the bad shit too. You know?
Yeah, it's like, oh, that looks good.
Yeah,
It's the wrong bit. Yeah. I did a lot of that.
Yeah,
I know. If I look backwards, I could say I could have avoided this, and this, but I wouldn't have learned this, and this.
Yeah,
and yeah, look, if I could have it over again, I wouldn't say that I'd do it differently, but I can definitely see the benefit of having done it differently. I didn't need to repeat the same lesson 20 times. Like, I got the lesson after 5. I ignored it for another 15.
Yeah.
So there are some moments where I did that. Now it's like, okay, if something's happening more than once, like even today in the car on the way here, I was talking about, like, I've been a bit irritated lately, and I'm just like, it's just like silent little bit of anger behind me. And I was very angry as a kid for that reason of lack of communication. So I grew up with a bit of anger, and then I let it go over time. And then I became like supplicating. I became the nice guy, and that made me even more angry. So then I became really aggressive, and I went through some shit. So now I'm much more neutral. I can say what I mean what I say, but I still have sometimes like this like underlying anger behind. And it's like, why am I feeling irritated? Like, why am I angry? And I've noticed a lot of the conversations I'm having with people around me, I'm expressing to them, hey, you have to just actually find a way to release that anger that you've got. And I realized, well, why do I happen to be meeting people that I need to tell them that if I don't need to listen to it myself? And I realized that today. And I was like, fuck, I've been having this anger conversation with a lot of people trying to help them stop being angry. And I was like, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I got to
clearly
go and look in the mirror and have the same conversation. Damn it. Why am I so aware? It's annoying. It makes me angry.
There's a quote that Jordan Peterson said around that subject once. It's like, what do I do with the fact that I'm so self-aware on the fact that I know my own self-flaws? I give other people advice in my own, but I don't even do it myself, Like, sometimes I wish I was a little bit more unaware or a bit dumber or a bit more ignorant. Because ignorance is bliss,
Yeah, I get it.
And they asked him that question when he was on stage, and he's like, what do I do? And he said, you learn to gargle the poison that kills you until it becomes an elixir you can thrive off. So just keep at it, keep telling people, and then it will eventually just turn into something that you're actually believing in yourself and you're doing it,
It comes back around to give what you want to receive.
Yeah.
Clearly the advice, like also being self-aware, it is frustrating. I get what Jordan was saying, because I give the advice, unaware that I need it. And then I get a moment where I was like, that's for me. And then I was like, all right, I'm not going to stop giving that advice because it is true, but I also need to start following it. So it's the action behind the advice as well.
Yeah. Bro, what about last night? I was driving with my partner and we had an argument. Like, sometimes I fuck up because I don't realize we're in a full argument. Like, I'm thinking we're just chatting, but I'm getting passionate and I'm like being deep, bro. And I'm like bouncing back, and then all of a sudden it hits me. I'm like, fuck, I'm being a dick, like, damn it. And we did it 2 nights in a row on the same subject. I'm thinking, fuck, I didn't even remember we did it last night either. And it was so intense last night. Fuck.
That's why you need someone filming you all the time.
I was like, fuck, I just accept responsibility on that one. But then, like, one thing that's really hard for me is he's also letting it go, like not wanting to keep, trying to fix the situation, and then like driving, I'm just listening to the song and it's on repeat. Let it go. The song just let it go.
No way.
Let it go. I'm like,
that's great.
Okay, sometimes it comes from the outside in too, bro. Yeah. And that's more magic again.
2 things came up when you said that. One is, would you rather be right or happy?
Honestly, like that I'd rather be happy, but it's hard to not be right. That's the problem.
So one thing that I've also practiced is this, and I learned it because I went through a whole journey of wanting to understand my masculine essence, because I lost it at some point because of various reasons, right? So I was very masculine, then I became a lot more reserved, a lot more supplicating. I told you, nice guy. And I lost that masculine edge, and I was like, I want to bring it back, but I want it to be healthy. I don't want it to be aggressive. I want it to be healthy. So I worked on that. And then I was looking into people that were in like positions of power, positions of authority. I look at lead male actors in movies and like, why do they act and say things a certain way? One thing I noticed is they don't explain themselves for their actions. That also means not defending their position. So you'll see often in a movie, I've been watching a series called Tulsa King, all right? It's got Sylvester Stallone as the lead. And everything around him was going to shit, and it was not his fault, but everyone thought it was his fault, and stuff was just going bad around him. And like, as a viewer, you'd be like, all you have to do is tell him that you didn't do it and you'll be fine. Facts. But a person has a strong frame, authority, doesn't explain himself to the world. So rather than tell everyone, I didn't do it, oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't me, that's not the masculine role for him. The masculine role is keep acting with integrity until everyone figures out that they're wrong without saying it. So I don't explain myself where I don't have to. I don't apologize unless, of course, I need to, which I will. But very often I don't need to apologize for something. If I've done wrong, I'll take it on. I'll say, that's my responsibility. I did it. Not having to be right. Also, that comes back to that. It's like if I'm in an argument and I know I'm right, well, that's enough. Like, I know. Trying to convince you that I'm right is a waste of my time. That's also explaining myself. So if I take Sylvester Stallone's, like lead character idea, I look at it like that. I was like, well, if I'm certain that I'm right, what value do I have trying to convince you that I am?
Yeah. Oh, bro. My dad said to me growing up all the time, if you argue with an idiot, there's two idiots arguing.
Yeah. I heard it like, never argue with an idiot because people watching won't know who's who.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a good one too. It's hard, bro. I swear, like the idea of would you rather be happy, would you rather be right? Like that's a hard one. And I need to start practicing it more and more because I find myself, not just with my partner, like all the time trying to explain. And the problem is as well, like I love debating. Like I love
it.
I'm good at it too. Yeah. Like because to me, a debate is a conversation that will never end if both people believe what they believe. And I'm happy to keep talking forever, I don't want you to convince me I'm wrong or who's right. Let's just keep going.
Well, my last girlfriend, I would have these debates with her. And she'd get really mad. I'm just like, what? I just want you to just talk about it. I want to talk more about it. Like you don't have to get mad. Like just keep talking. Like,
and then I make the mistake of saying, oh, well, if this is too emotional for you, we don't have to talk about it. And as it comes out of my mouth, I go, fuck.
Damn it. That's like saying, calm down. Just relax.
But I did it on the first night. I said that, and then, oops, maybe that wasn't the right thing. Second night, half came out of my mouth, and then I stopped it, and then it was like, oh, really? I'm like, I tried. I actually tried.
She finished the sentence for you. Damn it.
Fuck. I'm glad you said it like that because I haven't heard about it in those words. Would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? Like I'm going to think about that a lot. I'm going to carry that on. Yeah, definitely.
The thing is this, like I can win an argument, but at the end, what do I lose?
Yeah.
I lose connection and I lose time and I gain stress. So I was right, but I lost connection first and foremost. What's most beneficial? Do I need to be right in this situation? Like, I'm very calculated and I like to learn. I like to research. I've had a lot of my own experiences. So I'm very often don't get in an argument if I'm not right. So that way I know I can be right? That's another control thing, I think. The thing is, sometimes I am wrong, which I can also admit. That's another hard thing for people to do. Say, I'm wrong. I was wrong. I am wrong. But if I'm definitely going to be right in a situation, I'm like talking to this person, I'm just like, I don't actually need to have this conversation. Like all I'm going to do is get mad.
Yeah.
I'm going to dislike you. I'm going to be right about that.
And same vice versa.
Yeah, and same vice versa.
Sometimes if you end up being right, they're like, fuck you,
Right, that's right. Would you rather be happy? Yeah. That's right. You don't want, you lose something. You gain something, but you lose something. That's why I never understood. Do you want to be right? Do you want to be happy? I was like, I want to be right and happy.
Yeah, being right will make me happy.
That's right. Being right will make me so much happier. But like, then you got to deal with an unhappy person. You will lose something. It's usually connection. That's like the main thing. Like, will being right in this situation bring me closer or further away from this person? Because someone has to lose. Someone has to lose. So if I can pull back and say, well, I don't need to make that person lose to know the truth. If I'm certain of the truth, that's like, it really is enough. Like I'm a big conspiracy junkie, right? Some things I believe based on a shit ton of research. And I know the people I converse about that with find it difficult to have that conversation because they're still stuck in the old mindset. They didn't read into it as much as me, so they can't have an opinion. And so trying to be right in that situation is actually unfair. If they had read everything I've read, we will have a very different discussion. Maybe we can actually debate it. But now it's more like a debate of someone who only believes something they were told versus someone who, myself, looked into something. So this is a very unfair advantage of I have more information. So being right in that situation actually just pushed a lot of people away from me. And I can't be certain I'm right either.
Yeah.
Because it's still a theory.
You still believe, it's only like a belief, eh? Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty damn sure that's not true. And I'm sure for these reasons. What I am sure about is you believe that and you don't have reasons to believe it. You've just been taught it.
Yeah.
My actual problem with those sort of beliefs, I went through a period of being annoyed by beliefs, right? A friend of mine has this phrase that he read in a book: belief is the enemy of knowing.
Yeah.
Right? It means it stops you researching. I believe it, so I don't have to look anymore. He's right. On that account, he's right. However, the word belief exists, and there's very different uses of the word belief, and it's very different meanings for the word belief. So we had a debate, him and I, that lasted about 4 years.
That's so mad.
Yeah, it was mad.
What a good friend.
Yeah, he's a good friend. He's a good friend. And we can talk for ages about it. And he's like, belief is the enemy of knowing. I'm like, yeah, but you believe that.
Yeah.
And he just didn't like it. He's like, no, I know it. I was like, you know that belief is the enemy of knowing? How do you know that? And so he just went around in circles. And my job wasn't trying to make him agree with me. My job in that argument or that debate was to get him to understand that the word belief is a useful word, and when used correctly is valuable as a word. After 4 years, I posed to him that belief and knowing were at two ends of the same scale. That in order to know something, you must first believe in its existence, right? And when I said that, he just kind of stopped for a second and he was like, huh. And we ended the argument. We haven't spoken about it since. Like the argument ended. And because he's very egoistic in his own way. He's a good friend, but he's got a lot of ego. And the reason that he liked that outcome was because it made him feel like knowing was at the top and belief was down the bottom. And I'm like, look, I don't give a shit which end of the scale it is. What if it's up and down? Who gives a shit? Like, what if it's a spiral? But I agree with that, though. In order to know something, you must first believe in its existence. You must believe there's a possibility to know. There's no such thing as no belief. Everything that he argued was a belief of his. It wasn't a knowing, right? It can't be a knowing until the fact is absolutely clear, and only a few things are facts.
Yeah.
You know, most things require belief. Like if you can't see God, you can't see it, right? You can experience it, but in order to experience it or even discuss it as God, you must believe that it's a possibility.
Of course, yeah.
The belief has to come first. To know God, you can't know God without believing in it.
Yeah.
So it has to be there. You can't just say, I don't like that word, so it doesn't exist anymore. It does.
Well, everything's sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, everything's a belief.
Everything's a belief. There's this guy out online, Clint something, I can't remember his full name. I was only having this conversation with someone the other day and we both couldn't remember his full name. And someone asked him, how do you know Jesus Christ was real? And he's like, oh, I don't. That's why I believe. Like, and he goes, how do you know Napoleon existed? You know,
I would ask the same question. You believe it, because you read it in a book that was written by someone who wanted us to think a certain way.
Yeah.
These are sort of conspiracies I'm talking about. I question a lot.
Yeah.
I question a lot, and the reason I do that is because the more I look, hypnosis helped me do that. It helped me realize that there is a lot of hypnotic elements in the world around us, and the people that are in the most control in the world understand even more than I do, obviously. Otherwise, they wouldn't be using it on us. And so, look, I don't say the world's a shit place and everything's going to crap. Yeah, if you look at it like that, you can see evidence. I can also see evidence the world is incredible. I actually prefer to look at it that way. I was sitting with an uncle of mine the other day at Christmas, and he was like, oh, the world's gone to shit. And I'm just like, ugh, it kind of jarred me when he said it, because I was like, he believes that. And I'm not there to change his mind or make him wrong or right. And I'm just like, wow, I'm actually glad I don't think like that. I don't see the world has gone to shit. Some shitty stuff has happened, and it's happened very recently, and it's been happening over and over again. But when hasn't that stuff been happening? And within all of that stuff, people have still lived good lives, made art, made families, they've done good things, they've, built stuff. Like, there's always going to be both. And my focus, I'm very aware that my focus will decide what I see.
Yeah.
If I lived an entire life without ever focusing on anything negative, the whole world could go to shit around me, and my whole life as a single unit of person would be like, wow, that was the most amazing experience ever.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what I mean?
How good's that?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because even in times of chaos, like we see chaos, especially in Instagram and shit, we see it all over the world. You still see the people playing games, having fun. You know what I mean? Like they're aware of the chaos happening, but they're choosing to look at the world in the whatever way they can, find the positivity. That's why I love gratitude. I do gratitude. I try and do it as many days as I can because, oh, fuck, it's easy to be like, I got to do this today. I got to do that. Oh, this went wrong. That went wrong. But like, I got to get coffee on the way to work. You know, that was good, bro. You know, I got to drive to work without crashing my car. That was pretty good too. Yeah, the price of fuel was like a bit higher than usual, but I didn't run out, you know what I mean? Like, there's always, it is how you look at it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool.
There is a conversation that I've had I've had with Rose quite a few times as well, and it goes into what she talks about. And it's called, it's a part of the brain called the reticular activating system, right? It focuses on what you expect it to focus on. This goes back to the reticular activating system we're talking about. What you focus on, you see. So if I expect to see something, I'm going to see it. What were you said a second ago?
I was talking about the fact that like I wish I was
listening to the mic drop.
Yeah, listening to the mic drop. Yeah.
So because you're so aware of cameras and you're so aware of sound equipment and noises, you've trained your reticular activating system to focus for those, right? So without trying, it's happening unconsciously. You'll be listening to a podcast and you'll hear, hey, that sounds like a mic just dropped out. Oh, that sounds like a third mic's in the room and someone forgot to turn it off. Or that is yours, you know. My brother's a photographer. So what will happen is, you know, he'll be looking at something and he's like, oh, lighting sucks on that. And I'll be like, that's a great photo, you know, like looks excellent, you know. So what we train ourselves to see, we will see. So again, going back to that relative of mine who said the world's gone to shit, the more he says that, the more he sees that. And there's nothing he can do to change that except start changing the thought behind it. You've got to, I'm going to give you an example. And I came across this a long time ago and it rekindled lately. I had an issue with affirmations, right? This is in line. I had an issue with affirmations. I was like, how the hell can I say over and over again, I'm rich when I'm clearly poor, right? That's so annoying. Or I've got a 6-pack when I've clearly got a keg, you know? Like, it's like
a 1-pack.
A 1-pack. You know? So I was like, it's so annoying. Like I get the idea of affirmations is to train the reticular activity. I totally get it. However, I also understand that the brain will, your conscious mind will reject anything it doesn't agree with based on your belief system. So if I don't believe that I'm rich or that I can be, saying that I am is not going to actually help me. So then I thought, well, I can change that. I can say something like, I am growing my wealth gradually, daily. Well, I can't really reject that because it's kind of happening. It's not happened. So I was like, that's better. I try to change the language to make it easier to digest. And then I came across something recently. I was like, well, I noticed people say things like this. Why does this always happen to me? They say shit like that. Why does it always happen to me? And then they see evidence to answer that question. So I was like, well, why can't you choose that in a positive sense? Like, why do I always find ways of making money easily?
Yeah, that's a very good insight. I like that.
Why do I always meet the right people? Why do people always get me the footage at the end of an event?
Perfect.
You know? And that makes it so much easier to digest. Firstly, it's like the second way that I explained. It's easier to digest. But more importantly, it gives the unconscious mind the question that it must answer, because it's going to answer it anyway. It's going to answer, why does it always happen to me, just as readily as it is, why do I always meet the right people? It's like, oh, because I always put myself in good situations. And now I'm asking myself why questions a lot more. Like, why do things always work out for me?
Oh, that's mad. I've never even thought about that. I like that. I don't really, and it's cool. It's cool because I intentionally don't ask myself, why do these bad things happen to me? I choose to focus on what's going good.
Yep.
But now I'm going to start asking myself, like,
positive whys.
Why do I always get a successful X? Why does it always work out in my favor? This, you know, it's like, oh, I must be the luckiest guy.
Yeah. Why do I always meet great people for my podcast? Like, why?
Yeah.
And it's nothing wrong with asking that question. And like I said, we stop, you said it yourself, right? We stop asking the why questions because we're sure that asking why questions are negative, because we usually ask negative ones. But why not ask good ones?
Yeah.
Why do I always ask good questions?
Yeah, I like that. That's mad. All right, that's sick.
Yeah, and you're going to get an answer.
Yeah, and we'll probably never stop finding answers too, as long as you keep asking. Like, that's one reason, but why else?
Why else?
Yeah.
Why else? So I thought, writing in a journal affirmations like I am growing wealthy, I am feeling healthy, I've got all the money in the world, blah blah blah. Why am I feeling so good? Why am I so capable of making money easily? Why do I always meet amazing people? Why? And just writing why affirmations, it feels better. It feels like I don't resist it in any way. My brain doesn't say that's not true because it's a question.
I think it's a beautiful walk of life, The fact that you're able to go through and manipulate and understand and interpret and redesign and restructure in order to get, to be honest, if you wanted it to be shit, you can let it be shit too. If you want to walk around and say, fuck, this sucks, it can be that way as well. It can
be what you want.
It's whatever way you want it to be. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to circle back in a sec to something that sparked my curiosity before, where you did your first keynote speak, the 60-minute speak.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
How difficult was that for you, considering you'd never done it before? And how different was it, considering you'd usually been doing shows with a bit more performance enhanced?
I thought speaking would be a breeze. That's why I told the guy to book me, because I was like, I can perform, I can speak. Then I started looking at speakers on YouTube, and I started to look at speaker training. I went to a couple of free seminars to just get some ideas. And I was like, all right, it's a whole nother game. Speaking on stage is not the same. You need to grab attention differently. You need to ask certain questions a certain way. I don't have tricks to hide behind, so I've actually got to engage the whole time. I've got to use only language for that. And I thought something exciting about it. So I did some training. I did something called Power on the Platform with a lady named Sarah Bowling. She is incredible. If you want to do some speaker training, she's the one. And so, so I did that speaker training with her, and then I kept her on as a mentor to help me through a 12-week program just to redefine it. So I did a lot of, I created a structured system to deliver my education. So I went and I wrote down all the things that I want to talk about: communication, body language, hypnosis, mindset, influence. I wrote them down, and then I made a system in order to deliver that content. I called it Prism, right? Prism, refracting light into colors. So PRISM is like purpose, resilience, influence, self-belief, and messaging, right? And those topics cover everything I talk about. And so in the months leading up to that keynote, I delivered one of each of those keynotes. I delivered a keynote about purpose, right? It was a very short one, 10 minutes. I did one on resilience. I did one on messaging and self-belief. But the influence one, that's the biggest topic for me. I created something called the 6 keys of influence, the impact model. And impact is another anagram for influence, right? So it just keeps. So the reason I made all these anagrams was so that I can remember the content, so that if I was on stage and the slides stopped working, I could still deliver the content.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking about influence and I just go in my mind, IMPACT, I is this, M is this, P is this, and go through it, I can just deliver the content off the top of my head. So I felt very confident because I'd done the preparation. Now, when it came to the influence one, I also mixed mentalism in with it, like to give examples of influence, because it makes sense, right? Yeah. It's mentalism. And that made it a bit more comfortable because I had a little bit of something to engage my audiences. It wasn't as difficult as I thought. I got on that stage because they thought I was a professional keynote, and I'd sold it as a professional keynote, and I'd done 4 or 5 before. I went up there like I'm supposed to be on this stage. There was a camera following me. There was, a lot of people in the audience. I was the first keynote. They put me the opening keynote of the weekend. So it was like nice. The second, the one of the top 2 most important are the first and last keynotes. You know, so I was like, far out. I either make it or break it. So I was super nervous, but as soon as I got up there and started speaking, I'm like, I got this.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of slides. I made sure I mixed them with words, graphs, and images so that people in the audience, I know that people think and learn differently. So I wanted to make sure there was different kind of language, different kind of visuals, and different kind of information so that everyone in the audience would take something differently. So I would use some facts, then I would tell a story, and then I would use an example in the audience, and I'd just kind of mix this few things together just so I'd make sure everyone noticed it. So one guy in the audience came to me after the keynote and he's like, mate, I used a recording device and I recorded your entire keynote. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you started really well and I really like what you were saying. So I recorded it and I put it in ChatGPT to transcribe it. I was like, why? He's like, well, I wanted to use your info to help me create a training program for my junior football team.
Wow.
And I was like, but I'm not even mad. I'm like impressed.
Yeah.
I was like so flattered. Like,
yeah,
I didn't tell him it was my first time delivering that keynote, but what I learned was if you're delivering with intention to serve, you really can't go wrong. You can't be as nervous if you're thinking about the audience as you can if you're thinking about yourself. That's a big key, right? So I learned that from being a performer. Number 2, you can't forget your content if it's your own. If I was memorizing something that I don't know, I would have had a hard time delivering it. I have the video of that speech. I haven't watched it yet, but I am pretty sure it was good, and I'm pretty sure I can criticize the hell out of it. That's totally fine. I also have got the confidence now that, well, I've seen other keynote presenters as well, and not all of them have that intention. A lot of them have like, what do they call it? Death by PowerPoint, death by slide. There's like tons of writing and shitloads of slides. I'm like, they're not even with the audience anymore. They're like internal and they're looking at the board. So I learned quite a few things. I learned that to serve the audience is my number one priority. It is same as an entertainer, but as a speaker, it's serving them with knowledge that they can take home. That is something I never felt that with performing magic and mentalism. I've started to put a lot of important messages in my show. Like instead of just saying, here's a cool effect for mentalism, I'll have to tell a story about why now is the most important time and how every moment leading up to this moment is super special. And without this moment, nothing exists. And then I'll lead into a mentalism effect that requires perfect timing. And so I'll still do that in my mentalism. So even my performance has become more esoteric and more spiritual somehow.
Oh, so it even assisted in ways as well. That's cool, bro. You're able to put multiple different layers of art together: the art of storytelling, the art of mentalism, the art of magic.
Yep.
And because I understand mentalism also has similarities with magic, with the misdirection a bit,
yep.
and like the performance side of things.
Absolutely.
And showmanism. But now you're adding more layers to your arsenal,
yep.
bro. You're
yep.
cultivating like this.
I had this thought this year that I was going to turn full-time speaker, right? And I will speak more as time goes on because I love educating, right? I love sharing knowledge. That's why I love these podcasts. And I also realized this year, putting so much effort into getting this speaking thing right, I lost some vibe. There was something missing. And I realized when I've got a packet of cards in my hand or when I'm reading someone's mind for fun or for show, I feel alive. And I realized I can never walk away from that part of the stage. So I've actually, now it's the end of 25, I've realized I'm going to go full power back into entertainment and use whatever status I create to engage people to want to see my speaking. I'm not going to be a speaker who also performs. I'm going to be a performer who delivers these epic keynotes. And I think that's the direction. So I'm actually going back. I used to say just mentalism and I used to say speaker. Now I brought the word magic back into it because my audience hears the word magic. Even if I say mentalism, they say, come see this magician.
Yeah.
I've got to use their language. Otherwise I'm not communicating to them. So I've started saying magic again, which is kind of weird because I spent 2 years trying to avoid that word, but you said it yourself, man. The card tricks I did at the end of our podcast are something that stuck with you. Why? Because that's something that's a beautiful part of my entertainment.
Yeah.
Like I am magic.
Yeah, it is, bro. It is magic.
Yeah.
I find so much what's the word I'm trying to feel right now? Like I feel so much optimism and excitement and passion hearing you speak about because it's like you're your own creator, your own career, your own boss, your own employee and employer.
Sometimes I'm a lazy employee.
Yeah, that's fine.
I need a harder boss.
But that's fine. But it's like I love even having this conversation because of the the ability to be able to self-reflect and look back and see what I need to improve and do in these ways. And it's like, I find it to be such a shame that like so many people don't have this level of insight into who they are, let alone what they're interested in, because they give all their time away for their job and things like that like they're not passionate about, and it's so much more living in life in your expression as opposed to what unfortunately so many other people have by just showing up 9 to 5 and pressing the button on the computer or digging the hole or even doing what I do, I guess, through the week. Like I don't find that much passion in it, but it's like I'm getting out of there as fast as I can so I can come back to doing what I'm doing.
Your passion is in your motivation to do something different.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found is because I've been doing this about 20 years, most of my passion was at the beginning when I was like, this is amazing. I don't have to work for anybody. I can just do shows, blah, blah, blah. And because I've done it for 20 years, I've also done all my own admin and everything. I'm like, oh man, it's just tiring. So I'm trying to build CRM right now, and I'm trying to build like some automations so that next year I can actually give some of my own work away to a computer and actually have a structure that I've never had. I've worked with referrals my whole life, which is awesome, but it's not scalable.
Yeah.
So I'm learning all these things, and it's interesting. I've been doing it for 20 years, but I'm learning stuff which a lot of people that have been in business for 20 years knew at the beginning. So I do feel a bit of a newbie, and that's totally fine. And it's helping me get excited again, because I think if I can automate some of my business and actually like keep up to date, sending people like reminders of who I am, I can actually perform more, which ultimately makes me happy. I've looked at my life. Every time I'm least happy is when I'm not performing. It's also the time when I have the least money, right? But it's not the money. I always thought it was. But when I've had a bunch of money in my account, and then stopped having gigs, it's not that I was running out of money that made me sad. It was that I wasn't performing. So I realized the common denominator is always, if I'm doing the thing that I absolutely love doing, I'm going to have everything I want. And I'm also going to give a lot more value to other people. So for me, it's about getting on stage as much as possible in the future, right? It also means I'm going to make more money. And that is a bonus, because making more money means I can deliver more value. So I've actually got purpose for my money too.
Yeah.
If someone says to me, what do you want to use your money for? I can't even think of, except for like maybe some cameras so I can set up my own podcast and stuff like that. I don't want stuff. Like I've got stuff. I've got heaps of stuff I don't even use. So like I get annoyed because I don't know what I even want money for. But then I realize, well, money could actually buy me some time. I could pay someone to look after my socials because I really don't like doing them.
Yeah.
I've got to do them until then, till I can afford it.
And I find the same, bro. I find that when I was in the best financial position I've been in so far, I wasn't really having the most fulfillment, Like I find a lot more fulfillment now being in, I've got to be real, let's just call it 10% of the financial position I was in. And it's because I'm choosing to do things with my time that are more important, you know? And I love it. One thing I want to ask as well, with the keynote speaking, I didn't even know, because I only know it from TED Talk that I watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
Do we have a lot of things like that in Australia? Is there a lot of things like that? Because
there's speakers bureaus. There's something called Toastmasters, which they get together and like they do talks and they like give each other feedback and advice and stuff. I haven't joined any of those. I might do that just to create a new community around me. Maybe get some better at keynotes. But all the effort that I put in this year to get on stage as a keynote gave me the confidence that I can do it, and so I'm pretty sure that I'll learn more just by doing it. And even so, all the training that I had leading up to that influence one, when I got on stage, I ended up doing a whole bunch of other stuff that I didn't train for. And I did a speaker training in the Gold Coast the 4 days before that speech. And it was different to what I'd learned for the last 12 weeks. So I was actually all muddled up. By the time I got there, I'm like, I got to remember that thing and that thing. And all of a sudden, it's like a big mix of stuff. And I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I just got to get up there and serve my audience, offer value, give them something that they can take away with. Already people are saying that they're taking value from my keynotes. So I think the most important thing for a speaker is be so into the content you're delivering that the audience vibe off that. It's like when I perform magic and mentalism, I'm so into doing it. My audience gets from that. They thrive on that. If I was bored of performing, my audience is going to follow that. I'm excited every time I do a trick. Every time. I was like, give me a new audience. Like, you haven't seen this? Yes.
Oh, dude, I want a trick. I want a trick. I want you to do something.
You want to see something?
I want to see something.
All right. Yeah. I'm gonna whack on these glasses.
Please do.
Because I want a memory of this.
Yeah, please do.
All right. So I did
Bro, I'm so excited.
I'm going to take my pens. All right, I'm going to try something with you. So I just want you to think of a few random objects, all right? You should have some in your mind already, right? So you've got some random objects in your mind, and these could be anything. This could be anything from like a train line or like a spanner, or you can think of regular objects. Probably think of something that's like natural or man-made or something like that, right? All sorts of stuff. So you got a few objects in your mind?
Yeah.
How many?
Three
objects. Okay. What I want you to do is go through those random objects. Like I said, they could be anything. And I might do this with more than one, but I might just do this with one. So I want you to jump through those three random objects in your mind and then land on one, whichever one you like. Whichever one that is, that's the one we're going to use.
Yeah.
All right, so you're thinking...
We are going to use?
We are going to use.
We are going to use? Okay.
So you got something in your mind?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I don't know what this is. I can't possibly know, right? But you do have this object clear in your mind?
Yeah.
Okay. Think to yourself, could I touch this object? Just think to yourself, okay? Now, think to yourself, could I hold this in my hand, all right? Think to yourself how big this object is, right? All right. Now, I'm going to ask you, this object is quite large, yes?
Yeah, I'd say not quite large, but it's not, I wouldn't call it small or tiny, no.
Okay. So think about what you do with this object. Okay, this is something you can hold in your hand, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I want you to think of a time when you'd use this and what would be happening if you use this object. All right. Now, it could be something that you have in the kitchen. It could be something that you use at a sporting event. It could be something that you use when you're driving. I don't know. Okay. I want you to think of some. Okay. The first thing I'm getting is something. I'm getting a lot of water. I don't know.
That's fuck off.
Is that makes sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm getting a lot of water, but for some reason I'm getting also the word. I'm getting two words, up to down. That's two words that I'm getting, right? Up to down. I'm getting a phrase that says what goes up must come down. That's what I'm getting. Now think of how big this object is in your hands, all right? And think of where you would use it. Okay. I have a feeling this is an outside object.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. I don't know if you know. Hey, I think you do, but I don't know.
I'm gonna put this down here. I'm gonna.
This is crazy, bro.
I'm gonna write this down. Okay, so you're thinking of an object. You didn't tell anyone what it was.
No. There's no way.
What object are you thinking of?
An umbrella.
Umbrella. Oh, like it wasn't a soccer ball? No, I wrote umbrella.
That's so fucking crazy, but I didn't give you anything. Like, I nodded on everything that you said. Like, I intentionally did that. That's crazy, bro.
You want to try it again?
Yes,
you had a couple
please.
of other objects, right?
Yeah.
All right, choose a different object.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Now. Okay. I just want you to think.
I knew you had it before.
I just want you to think of two things, right? I want you to think, is this object man-made or if this object is natural?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. I think you went for a man-made object this time.
Yeah, I didn't. I was going to. I changed it last minute.
So you did go from you changed it from a natural object to a man-made object.
No, I went from man-made, and then the last question I changed it to something natural.
You changed. So you changed it. So this could be
something natural.
Okay. Weird. Okay. I'm not going to ask you any more questions. Imagine you're sending this object to me. Okay. I'm going to do two things, right? This is something I got, but then there's this something I got here that looks like this. Okay. I don't know if this is a thing, but it's weird. I got two objects in my mind that flashed, right? I got two objects in my mind that flashed. I can see them here. I might do this. And it's funny because this object looks like that somehow. All right. So I got these two objects. In fact, one of them is man-made and one of them is natural. You're not going to tell me what they are.
Okay.
But I'm just going to show you these. And I mean, if I got this correct, I'll know by the look on your face. All right. So one of them on the right is a man-made object and one's the natural object. All right. I drew these two things.
So fucked.
What did you think of?
My stomach is so sunk right now. A cactus and then the Big Ben. That's the thing.
Oh, that's a Big Ben.
Yeah.
Well, we did it.
I don't understand, bro. Especially the umbrella one too. Like that. To be honest, like, my brain's already fried, so I'm gonna have to spend more time thinking about how you did those two. But I didn't give you anything away. Like it's okay. Okay. Oh my god. I knew from the moment you had me with the umbrella one, I knew you were going to get this one too. Like, I knew you were going to get this one too.
Oh, well. Sorry about that.
My stomach hurts, bro. I feel sick. I actually feel sick. You've done something to me, bro. Yeah.
That's good. That's not the reaction I was hoping for, but, maybe take a Panadol.
Oh, because the umbrella one freaked me out so much that I'm like, okay, he's just going to pull the rest out of my head too. I know he is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's exciting, eh?
I don't get it as well because, like, yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is. I just have to go back and watch the footage and see.
You will. Do you want to see another one?
Yeah, of course.
I'm gonna do one now. We'll talk for a little bit and then I'll end with something.
Okay. We'll talk for the. So you got another one to end with.
I've got another one now and then I'll end with something else.
Oh, so one more and then we'll do another one. So two more.
Do you want two more?
Yeah, of course.
All right. So this is a imaginary die, right? It's a 6-sided dice. Take it. Good catch.
Yeah.
So I want you to just roll it just so you know it's real. Excellent. You've done that before. What number did it land on?
3.
Okay. Now, because this is your I want you to remember that. Right?
Yeah.
We'll come back to that later. But because it's your imagination, I couldn't have known what you were going to do in advance, right? So just keep that in your mind, right? So remember that number. We'll come back to it later.
Okay.
Right? But for now, I'm going to send you a text, right? Turn your phone on so you hear the text, but don't look at the text.
Okay, one sec.
Right.
Let me make sure my volume's up. Not the best reception in here.
No. If it doesn't work, I'll send it to you on WhatsApp. Do you have WhatsApp on your phone?
Yeah.
All right, I'll send it to you on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see. Oh, I hope this works.
It should. It'll go through. Even if you have to send it on.
Oh, I'm talking
Insta.
about the effect.
Okay.
All right, let's do it this way. All right, so what I want you to do is think of a number between 1 and 100, but don't tell me what it is.
Any number?
Any number between 1 and 100. Don't make it too easy.
Yeah.
All right, so you got a number in your mind?
Yeah.
Okay. So just because I want you to know that this is random, you should receive this. Wow, even the Wi-Fi is taking its time. Oh, no, it's coming.
Okay.
I sent you a text. As soon as it comes, I'll let you know. All right, you've got a number in your mind?
Yeah.
So just so you know that I kind of forced that number into your mind, change to a different one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got a random one that just entered my mind. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is this taking so long? Come on, do it.
Would it work if you sent it to me on Insta?
I'm trying to.
Oh,
Send it to you on Instagram.
yeah. Would it still work?
Let's try that.
Because the Wi-Fi is 100% going to be working.
All right. I'll send it to you on Instagram. Oh, man, this better work. This better work. All this dicking around, it better work. Somewhere in here is a message I want to send you. All right, there it is. All right, I'll send it to you on Instagram. You're going to have it in all of your...
Everything's going to come through at once.
It's going to have all at once. Okay, so for some reason, it's just not sending anywhere.
Okay, I've got something.
You got something?
Yeah, I got something.
You did?
I hope it was from you.
Okay.
I hope it was from you.
Okay. Yeah, I hope it was from me too. Yeah. Okay. I got it. All right. So keep that in mind. So you've got a number in your mind?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what we're going to do. Do you want to use the first or the second number? Up to you.
Fuck, I don't know. Okay. We'll use the second number.
The second number?
Yeah.
What is it? Tell me.
41 was the second
41. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You don't want to change it?
Nah.
All right. So I'm going to go into my notes here. So as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of notes.
Yeah.
Right? So take that. All right. I just want you to
look at it or
that's all right. Just
yeah.
So you can see a few different categories of notes. There's celebrities, there's some shopping lists, there's superheroes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're just going to use the first two lists, right?
Yeah.
So click on the celebrities.
Yep.
All right. And you see how they're all numbered?
Yeah.
Name out a few of the celebrities.
You got like number 1 would be Tom Hanks. You got like number 8 would be Ben Affleck. Number 18, Jennifer Lopez.
Sweet. All right. That's another message, probably from me. Okay.
Yep.
So what number was yours? 42?
41.
41. Go down to 41 and look at what it is.
Yep.
What is it? Say
Ed
it out.
Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Okay. Press the back at the top.
Yep.
And then go to the shopping list.
Yep.
Name out a few of the shopping items.
So number 1 would be apples. Number 7, spaghetti. Number 15, spinach. Number 19, chicken.
All right. Now go to 41. 41 is your choice.
41, bananas.
Bananas.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had 2. You had a celebrity on 41 and you had a shopping item.
Yeah.
Okay. Chuck the phone back. All right. I'll leave that over here.
Yeah.
So I got you to think of a random celebrity and a random shopping item.
Yeah.
Right? And it could have been anything.
Yeah.
Right. But you went for 2, right? Specifically. What was the celebrity you're thinking of?
The celebrity was Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the shopping item?
Was bananas.
Bananas.
I think so.
Man. So you could have done this. You could have gone for Kim Basinger and you could have gone for Coca-Cola. You could have gone for anything, right?
Yeah.
You went for Ed Sheeran and bananas. And this was your free choice.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran and bananas.
Yeah.
I did send you a message before we started, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a message. It was a photo. Just open up your text.
It's a fucking photo of Ed Sheeran on the bananas. Bro, that's crazy.
You want to show the camera?
I didn't even... Bro, that is crazy because I didn't even pick that number 41 first before you sent it. I changed it from my original number, which was something else. And it wouldn't have been that. It wouldn't have been because I seen the list. It was completely different.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's so annoying.
How, bro? How? It's like... I've seen the list myself. Like, it's different if I didn't see the list, but every number was a different person. Every
Correct.
shopping list was a different shopping list.
Yeah.
And you'd already sent it. Like,
yeah. It's gonna sit with you for a while, that one.
oh, what did you do, bro? Did you put that number in my head or something? Like, I had a number originally. Oh, what the hell? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've found that getting people to do stuff, like doing it in their own hands and thinking about stuff for themselves, it really affects people.
Yeah.
You know, magic, I do a lot myself, which is great. But even with my magic, I try to get, like, for example, card tricks. I'll put the pack of cards in somebody's hand as often as possible, right? Or if I don't have a table, I'll get them to hold their hands out and I'll deal onto their hand, even just to involve them some way. Because the more I can involve someone in an effect, the more they're in it.
Yeah.
And with mentalism, the reason I fell in love with it is because it's not only in your hands, it's in your head. And there's no more personal space than your own, your own mind.
What the heck did you do? How did you... You must have somehow put the number in my head, bro. I don't understand how you got there. Like, it's like I had a number. I picked a random number. I was like, yeah, all right, I got my random number. And then you're like, change it. I said, fuck, all right. Picked another random number.
Should have went for the first one.
I know, bro. And you even gave me the option if I wanted to change it or not. And like, you'd already sent the photo. I've got to watch the video back, bro. I'm pretty sure you sent me the photo before. I don't get it, bro.
It's good, eh? Yeah.
What the hell? Man, that's so cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's the third message.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Maybe another photo, Ed Sheeran,
Just so you know that there's no way I could have changed it.
Bro, that's so crazy. It's cool, bro, because like you leave room for my brain to wonder. You know what I mean? Like I'm never gonna stop trying to figure out how you did that.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
When I was young, I used to get really annoyed that people try to figure out my tricks as a magician. And then I realized, well, that's me. I'm like that. I like to figure out stuff. So all I had to do was just get so good at it that if people were trying to figure it out, they wouldn't. And they can enjoy trying to figure it out and still have wonder.
Yeah.
Because figuring it out is fine, but there's a little bit of magic lost when you understand. So if you have an idea of how something's done, that's cool. But if you never know how it's done, that's also cool because there's an open loop and that keeps the memory alive.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, you're right, bro. And then to be honest, the first time we sat down and you performed these these things on me where I'm just like, what the fuck? I have never stopped thinking that since that day, bro. Like,
Good.
Like, and I've picked it apart. The one where you got me to, the one where you knew my boss's name, like, but I didn't. I've never. But to be honest, you didn't say. I didn't even tell you it was my boss's name. You just got me to think of a name.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I've never stopped trying to figure out how you did that, and I have not been able to do. I have not been able to figure it out.
I mean, if you figured it out, you probably wouldn't have got me back on the podcast. Like, he's a fraud.
No, I would have done it back to you. I would have done it back.
That's right.
Yeah, man, that is so cool, bro.
Yeah,
that is so cool. Every time you do it, you probably just get. Do you get similar reactions? Everyone reactions different.
Everyone reacts differently.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I was living in Finland, the reactions were dry.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was really difficult to understand. They still enjoyed it. They were still impressed by it. But as an entertainer, like there's nothing worse than not receiving applause.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not because they didn't want to. They just didn't express that way. In Australia, it's way better. People are a bit more vocal. There are certain areas in Australia, like, I don't know, like Bankstown, massive reactions there. It's like, bro. So like I try to do some, just to get my ego up a little bit and find some locals.
Yeah.
But everyone reacts differently, depending on what kind of reaction I want. Like there are a lot of people in the streets in the States, they react massively. And so a lot of good content for those magic creators, the people on the streets in the States, they always choose people that they think are going to react. And some of those reactions are like way over the top, and that's cool. They want to express like that. I like it, like fucking go for it. Then so I've learned a lot about reading people. Like I'll go to a group of people and I'll tell you quickly who's going to react, who's going to laugh, who's going to be questioning, who's going to be impressed but pretend they're not. Like there's all these different characters. And if I can address each of those characters individually somehow with my language or my performance, I'll make everyone have a good time. So I've gone to groups of people and I can clearly see the leader of the group, and I'll make sure that I get them on my side as quick as possible. Because if the leader of the group gets impressed, everyone gets impressed.
I've never even had that thought, but every group must have a leader. Hey, every
group has a leader. And one way to find it, if you want to have a quick way of figuring it out, watch a group. Either you or someone else will tell a joke, right? Even if it's you, it doesn't matter. See who people look at just as the joke finishes, right? So when everyone's laughing, they're like, ha, 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 and they're looking over to see if the leader is laughing too.
Bro, that's mad. I've never thought that. But like that's so primal. Like that's an instinct that we would have to go back for millennia, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do it. And it's not even just the leader, right? You could also see it in the form of relationship. So like let's say there's a mixed group, guys and girls, and every time there's a joke, this girl looks at that specific guy. It doesn't mean he's the leader of the group. She just might be into him. She just wants to make sure that she's laughing with him.
Yeah.
And this is all unconscious. They won't even know they're doing it. You could tell them point blank, you keep looking at him every time you laugh, and she won't even know.
Bro, that's magic, being able to know that stuff, because you'll be able to tell people that, like, hey, I just realized that you like this person. Like, they'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's real mentalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell things to people about themselves that they don't even realize. They might not even realize they are doing it as well. Like, she may not even know that she likes the guy, but based on those reactions, you might be like, I notice you look at that guy every time you laugh. She's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, do you like him? And she's like, huh, actually, I think I do.
Bro, that's so cool. That's so cool. I like it too, because I've obviously been up to date with your Instagram and everything you've been putting out ever since, and you're always doing something new. Like there's like, I just watched one.
Sucks for the algorithm.
Yeah.
I gotta figure my shit out quickly.
Absolutely. But it's just like the tricks, like they're always new. Like I forget, you told me a better word to use than tricks last time.
Effects.
Effects, sorry. But like
it's okay. Like I said, my audience calls them tricks. I've just got to get over myself. Better be happy than right.
Yeah. That's it. There was one you did recently where you're in a room full of people and you got a lady to stand up and a lad stood up too, and they both had numbers. You got them to pick out the cards. They looked at their own cards, and you looked at this lady in particular. I think he had a 7 of hearts or something.
Yeah. I read the cards.
Yeah, and you read it based on his, both you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, easy. I'm like, what?
Yeah, dude.
Easy? Like, what?
Well, easy. Yeah, I say it. I say it like that because now it is.
Because, I've been trying it ever since we sat down. I sit down, I say to someone, I want you to think of a number between 1 and 10. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'll say it and they'll go, nah.
Trust me, I went through that for years.
Yeah. Okay.
Failed a lot.
Okay. So I took a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a thing, we talk about the magic and we talk about this unspoken stuff. When I was in India many years ago, I met this dude and he was a cool guy. He was a dating coach and he's like, man, I'll teach you some communication skills if you teach me some magic tricks. I'm like, that sounds awesome. So we just became friends and we just like go around and we go to these like random cafes and sit there, practice magic, and then we just like do tricks to people. And I taught him this secret code language where he could tell me information about numbers like in sentences without anyone knowing how he's doing it. So that, like, for example, he'll go to the other side of the room and I'll tell someone to write down a number and I'll say, all right, bro, you ready? Say the number now. And then he'll know it was 158 or whatever.
That's cool.
And so it was, all I had to do was know how to figure out.
It's a language, bro.
It's a language, right?
That's
so
cool.
I taught him that. And then we're doing all of these like trickery mentalism stuff. I wasn't doing mentalism back then. We're doing all this trickery stuff. And then I was doing some stuff with cards and people were freaking out. And this one girl was super skeptic sitting over there like scowling. And then she's like, give me the cards. And someone gave her the cards and she pulled a card out and put it against her chest and she threw the packet on the ground. She's like, all right, tell me what card I'm holding. Like real challenge. Man, I don't know where this came from, but like I got this flash of a 7 of clubs in my mind and I never forgot it. That's why I said it's 7 of clubs. And I was like, it's a 7 of clubs, obviously. And she just went white and she threw it down. She grabbed her boyfriend and she left. Because what happened, because that was the most like, that was the most like impossible circumstance. She then believed everything else before that, which made her freak out because at the beginning she thought everything was a trick, which it was. But that last one, I can't even explain it. It was just intuition.
Yeah.
So when that worked, then she had to believe everything else and it just kind of all hit her at once. And I think it just overwhelmed her. She just legged it.
That's so cool. It's funny, like that little language like that you and your mate were working out with each other. Joel and I did that ever since we sat down too. So like we'd have a list of things and we'd say, right, when it comes to a fruit, we're going to pick grapes. When it comes to a car, we're going to pick an Audi RS3. And then we'd blow people's minds, bro. We'd be like, all right, pick a subject. And they'd both say it. And then we'd go 3, 2, 1. We'd both say the same thing at the same time. And then we'd say the same thing at the same time, bro. And we'd fucking freak people out, eh?
So good. I'll teach you guys one later.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
A real easy one.
Okay, cool. And that's part of the fun, like it doesn't even have to be necessarily real for us. We know what we're doing, but then like you still get those freak moments where like even my partner and I, for example, we'll say the same thing at the same time over and over again. Like we'll have the same thought, and like happened to another mate the other day. We both said the same sentence, but we both had the same realization at the same time. And like there is the magic out there. It's like, but sometimes you got to kind of fake it till you make it as well.
I think Jung speaks about it as the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Something that we're all tapping into at all times. But because we're separate from it, we forget that we've got it.
Yeah, the singularity of what we are.
Yeah, it's all there, accessible to us. And so this is the thing. Like I said to you in the last podcast, I'm not too certain that psychic ability is real. However, tapping into a collective unconscious and saying what's up, that seems pretty psychic to me. So maybe there is a thing. Maybe I've been too hard on psychics. I don't know. I've had some experiences that seem pretty psychic. I just don't like to call myself that, but who knows? Maybe I've been psychic my whole life and I didn't know it. I'm open. I'm not going to reject completely anything, but I do want a little bit further evidence. I believe that magical things happen. I also have scientific explanations for stuff, so it kind of makes it hard for me to fully jump into it. I went from being completely up in the air spiritual to being a bit more grounded, so it's hard for me to just jump up and completely float again. So maybe it's in my favor, maybe it goes against, maybe there's a balance between the two.
I'm just still stuck on the number 41. I don't understand. You got me to roll an imaginary dice, pick number 3, and then somehow I jumped and picked the number, which it was the photo you sent me. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I'm not asking you to explain it. I'm just
but I am going to do one last one before we wrap this up.
Please
Pass me your phone. I want you to know. A lot of people think that I'm doing some dodgy shit. So I'll just use your phone.
Yeah.
Is it open? Is it unlocked?
You want me to unlock it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I could tell you your PIN number as well, but that's boring.
Yeah.
Easy. All right, so I'm gonna go to something. I'm gonna go to your.
If you're gonna look for an app, I just search for it. Swipe down.
Search. Okay,
swipe down
smart.
and search. Yeah, because I hide every app.
Do you use Safari or Google here?
I use Safari.
Okay, we'll go to Safari.
I hope I cleared my history.
Oh no, you didn't.
Just joking.
All right, we're gonna go to. We're gonna go to a famous website that everybody knows because it's got a stack of words on it. Do you know it?
I can see it loading. Hang on. Yep. I know the website.
Wikipedia.
Yeah.
All right. So in Wikipedia, we can search for tons of things, right? So many things we can find. And every time you go on a page, there's like links to go to other pages. If you are so inclined, you can go on a rabbit hole, right? So we can go really deep into the knowledge database, and it's updated quite frequently. So if I was to search for something, how do I get to the search? Okay. Let's say I was going to... Let's say I was going to search for Benjamin Franklin, for example, right?
Yeah. I've never searched Wikipedia. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You've never searched. Okay. So
Yeah.
Wikipedia is just like a massive encyclopedia of stuff. It's a Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to give you the phone back. Hold
Yep.
on to that. Just hold it flat in your hand. Right. So you can see that all of those links there. So that's Benjamin Franklin. You can see.
Yeah.
So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of blue links. Right. Just click
Yeah.
one randomly. Don't think about it too much.
Okay.
All right. So you clicked somewhere, and now you've got on a new page. Right.
Yep.
So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of blue links. I want you to be really intuitive about this and look down the page, and I want you just to call out one of those blue links.
So say it out loud.
So yeah, just call one of the blue links.
Okay. One of the blue links is podcast. So I'm going to go with that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. So click on podcast. Now what I'm going to do is write down everything you say. Okay. Let me just chuck these on. So I wrote down podcast, and did you click on it?
Yeah.
So now you got a whole bunch of more blue links?
Yeah.
All right, give me another one.
Any random one?
Any random one.
I'm going to go with Photon.
Photon, how do you spell that?
Photon.
Photon. Excellent. Get it. Click on
that
Photon.
one. Yep.
So now you're on a new page.
Yep.
Choose another link.
Okay. Sorry, it didn't load completely yet. Yep. All right. The new link I'm going to go with will be textile.
Textile. All right, click on textile. All right. Did you click on it?
Yep.
All right, choose another one.
All right. The new one I'm going to do
We'll do a couple more.
All right. I'm going to go with architect.
Architect. I like that. How do you spell that?
ARCHI.
Architect. Yep.
TECT.
Architect. Yep. Okay, couple more. Did you go into architect?
Yeah, I'm in that one now.
All right, blue link.
I'm going to go with star.
Star.
Yeah, STAR.
STAR. Excellent. We'll do just a couple more.
Okay, it's still loading. All right. On the next one I'm going to do is fishing.
Fishing. Okay. And one more.
Okay, one more. I'm going to go with, I'll go with nitrogen.
Nitrogen. Okay. Now click on nitrogen, but don't say anything.
Yeah.
All right. Now you should be on a final page, right? Or not a final page, but we've gone through all of these.
Yeah.
And they got a few words on that page.
Yeah.
So you went podcast, photon, textile, architecture, star, fishing, nitrogen. I want you to think of one of the blue links on that page.
Yeah.
Just think of it.
Yeah.
And it can be anyone you like.
Yeah.
All right. You got it?
Yeah, you can't see. I know you can't see.
I can't see.
Too, yeah.
All right. You got it?
Yeah.
Click on that link, but don't say anything.
Okay.
Just so you can memorize that word. Okay. Put your phone down.
I've locked it.
That's all right. Yeah, leave it. I'm not gonna go to you. All right. So you've got a bunch of words in your mind, a bunch of words that you've chosen, right? But now you're thinking of a word. It's totally random. Now, because it's such a vast amount of words, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. Just give me a ballpark figure. First question: is this a word that everyone would know?
Yeah.
Okay. And just because I want to know what I'm kind of like looking for, is this like one word or two?
Two.
Okay.
Good question.
So I want you to think, because it might be multiple. It might be multiple words. All right.
Yeah.
So I want you to think of this as if you could send this word to me in my mind.
Okay.
All right.
Let me have a look at it. Okay. I know it's two words. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. Think of the first word.
Yeah.
And think of the second word.
Yeah.
All right. Now, actually go back to the first word. I'm just going to say the letters of the alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Have I gone past the letter already? No. Well, I'm pretty close, aren't I? All right. Go to the second word. This is something to do with play. Is it something to do with play? Could you understand?
Second word, I would say, yeah. It's definitely to do with play.
Yeah. Right. So this is really weird. I'm going to write this. I don't know.
Get the fuck out.
I think you're. What word are you thinking of right now?
Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out, bro. How did you do that? How did you possibly do that? How could you have possibly known I was getting to that page or getting to that word? And then, bro, what the heck?
Well, I tell you what. I'm gonna let you in on something. You chose a bunch of random words completely randomly and intuitively, right? You just said these out loud and I wrote down exactly the words that you wanted.
Yeah.
But there's always a catch. Right at the beginning of the episode, I asked you to roll an imaginary dice.
Yeah.
Didn't I?
Yeah.
What number did you roll?
3.
3? I'm going to go to the third letter of the first word you chose, and that's a D.
Yeah.
The third letter. So 1, 2, 3.
Oh, bro.
I'm going to go to each of the letters 3 until you see that the words you chose spelt Doxcast.
What the fuck? Oh my God. Can I hold that? Oh my God. What the heck? Bruh, I honestly, I don't understand. You blew my mind last time. That is by far the craziest shit I've ever seen. That is so crazy. There's no possible way that's true. Like, I picked every word myself. I picked a random word from every page of Wikipedia. I picked some words randomly. Sometimes I was being like intuitive, like, okay, I know I like that word. Sometimes it's random. Sometimes it's sentimental. But some of them are so random. Like, I don't understand how you did that. That's the craziest shit of all time. Doxcast. I'm framing that.
Take it. Yeah,
framing that. Bro, what the heck? I am so grateful to have been able to capture this moment, bro, like on camera. That is so cool. That is so cool.
It's exciting.
Bro, when you got the Olympic Games part, I thought that was crazy enough already. Like, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like, oh, bro, when you stopped it, I thought, this motherfucker, this guy.
I fucking hate this guy.
This guy. Xavier, you are a magician, bro. You're a mind reader. Like, that is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. I will not see anything crazier. And I'm happy with it. That is insane.
My man, thank
you. What the heck? Like, I thought last time honestly thought myself, and not to sound skeptical or anything, but there's no way you'll be able to top last time. Like, that is so much more impressive than what you did last time. That is, I'm going to be calling people all day.
Yeah. Good.
I know what the rest of my day
Spread the word.
I know what the rest of my day is, bro. Bro,
well, when you told me I was coming back on, I was like, I've got to do something else. I was like, I've got to do something that's really going to fry him. Like,
bro, I was happy just to chat shit, bro.
I know.
You did not have to come with this.
Like, I know. I wasn't going to miss the chance.
I just don't even know how to begin to start thinking about how you could have done that. I don't know. I don't know how long that could have possibly taken. I don't know how it's possible either. Like, that's fucking so cool. That is so cool. Bruh, that's sick. You have to continue doing what you're doing and never stop questioning it. Like, those thoughts that enter your mind, let them be thoughts that you don't water for 1 second, because that is unlike any other experience I'll ever have. What you have is so special and unique, bro.
Thank you.
That is mad. That is so mad.
Thank you. People are not going to believe it. They're going to have to watch it.
People are not going to believe it. They have to watch it. If you made it this far in the episode, you're welcome. You know what I mean? You're welcome. Bruh. Damn it, bro. All right, look, before we wrap it up then, because I don't know how we're going to be able to beat the conversation of what it is, what are you looking forward to for 2026, bro? What are you looking forward to?
Systemized structure.
Yeah.
Making my business run smoothly and just being on stage more and more and more. You know, I thought it was about being on bigger stages, which is also fun. Now I've done that really big stage. Actually, it's about being on stage. Like I'll get booked for doing close-up entertainment, like roaming, moving through a cocktail function, for example, or just table to table. People still book me for that. And I love doing it. But if someone just can't afford the stage, right? They can say, look, we've got a budget for your roaming act. We just want you. I was like, great. And then when I get there, I was like, give me 5 minutes on stage.
Yeah.
And I give it to them for nothing. I give it to them as value add. But the reason I also do that is because I want people to see, wow, what if we did book him next year for the stage? And there's a lot of people that booked me for close up that I saw that 5 minutes that are like, they're waiting for their event.
Yeah.
So I just want to be on stage more. I want to improve like the structure of my show so that I can keep adding value in the form of lessons, not just performance. There's a guy named Darren Brown who does that very well. He's got a lot of beautiful learning inside his performance, and he's a mentalist. And I want to mimic that as best as I can, with my own style.
Yeah, that's mad, bro. I know how much you love the being on stage and doing these things, bro. But if you can go on as much podcasts, if you can have as much one-on-one time with people as you can, like, bro, I don't know, like this. I want everyone to know what this feels like. That's what I want.
Me too.
Believe me, I'm a sales rep for you for the rest of your life.
Thank you, bro.
Like, I promise you that.
Thank you.
Anytime anyone can possibly have you in their presence, bro, like that is incredible, bro. And yeah, I couldn't be more grateful to have one-on-one time with you, bro.
When you chose textiles, I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I know, right? A fucking X. And I nearly didn't, bro. I nearly picked a different word. Wow, bro. That's crazy that if I had picked anything else, it wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked.
Wow. Is there any fear going into it for you?
Every time. I was constantly shitting myself. Everyone was like, oh, he's a mentalist. I'm like, yeah, he's got nappies. He's got to change his underwear.
Oh, bro. I know my clip for the episode, bro. I promise you that. That is so cool. God damn. Xavier, you're more than a magician, bro. You're freaking the fuck out of me. That's what it is, bro. You're a fucking...
Yeah. Well, if we have another conversation, which I'm sure we will,
of course.
I'll have to up my game. So.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, you keep me on my toes.
That is so cool. Bro, I'm so grateful you've come onto the studio for the second time. Like, I was honestly just happy to chat shit because I had so much time the first time. But yeah, you've done more than enough this time, bro. You're a legend, bro. Thank you.
There's something amazing about being able to, learn and create new stuff and seeing people. Someone said to me once, an amateur changes his effects, his tricks, and a professional changes his audience. And I thought about that. I was like, okay, so I can keep the same show and just get better at finding new audiences. However, there are times when I'll find the same audience. So what can I do for them? And it's always about, I have unlimited resource and I have a lot of experience. I've done so many different things on stage that I don't do anymore. So if I ever need to, just bring them back.
Yeah, that's so cool, bro. The gifting, being able to give someone something like that that's what we spoke about through this episode, bro. You don't give to be able to receive, but everything's going to come back and so much more. Someone came and gave me this drawing a couple of weeks ago. I think he came over this week. Nice. He drew this. He gives these out to people, and there's a list of everyone in the podcast that came over before in the background. Your name's actually on there too.
Yes.
And just being able to receive something, bro. It's it's such a feeling that it's I want to be able to give away more now as well.
Yeah, dude.
You're helping that spiral of that spiral.
It does feel good. It does feel good. Like I said, there was a couple of moments this year where I was like, I'm giving so much. When am I going to get something back? And then I kind of burnt through that, and I was like, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Oh, man, that's so mad. I'm going to ask you the one final question, all right?
Yeah.
It's the final question that I asked every single guest that comes on. I've even asked you once before, but whether your answer's the same, whether your answer's changed, every answer's always a little bit different. So if someone came to you for a piece of advice because they were feeling depressed, mostly because they were just lost, is there any advice you'd give that person?
Ask yourself why questions, positive why questions, and see what comes up. Try it for a few days. Being depressed is a spiral. So what happens is you don't start depressed, you get depressed, and there is a way out. The belief and the hope that you can get to the other side of that is actually more powerful than the techniques. Most people that are depressed, they feel that there's no way out. That's the hardest thing. So usually if someone comes to me with depression, I don't try to just snap them out of it, or not straight away. I find ways to tell them that there's hope on the other side. And that usually comes in the form of a story of someone who went through it and came out on the other side of it. So yeah, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, just know that it's temporary and there is a way out. There's always a way out. There are some ways out that, that seem easier, but they're harder for everyone else. So find the way out. You got it.
Yeah, I love it, bro. I love it. Knowing that other people have also experienced the same thing you're going through and they got them out, that's a great way to have that beacon of hope, that shooting star to aim towards. But I guess asking yourself that, why am I fortunate enough to have the people around me? Why am I fortunate enough to be able to live where I live and have shelter and things? Like, at least asking yourself some positive questions will actually get you out of it as well.
Yeah, those why questions, man, they've been, I know exactly what my next why questions need to be around, because I've had a few things come up recently. I'm like, man, I keep thinking that. And I was about to ask myself, why do I keep thinking that? And I realized that's what keeps me thinking it.
Yeah. Bro, it was a perfect answer to wrap up a perfect episode, bro.
Thank you, bro. Always a pleasure.
I wish I had the words to be able to explain to you how grateful I am for everything. It's like, and how blown away I am, but I just genuinely don't have a vocabulary big enough.
You've said enough. You said it by holding your head and doing this. Said everything. I read body language, don't forget.
When you said, the third number, I was like, when you got to the D-O, I thought, yeah, fuck. Yeah. Oh, bro, thank you very much, bro.
My pleasure, bro. Anytime.
Oh, crazy. For everyone listening as well, thank you for making it to the end of the episode. It was an amazing week this week, as you just seen. There'll be another one next week, I promise. That's a wrap.
Legend.
What the hell?
We heading for the sun. Shawty going high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stunt.